Hello, hello. Good people of the internet. Let me make sure I'm a streaming. Okay. Yes, I'm a streaming. There we go. No Man's Sky time. As we wait forever for it to start. Thanos!
Hey Jordan, you live?
I am live. What's up, good buddy?
Nice.
Yeah, I think both of you, the last two things both of you said are both correct. There are other issues that are like the quality of healthcare in UK and Canada is going to be bad. Staying funded, and that's something that they know is like an upcoming issue that they're going to have to address.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what.
Well, from what I've seen, they're rated on the lower side of of like the first world Western countries
Yeah, I
and that
mean
have universal
especially the
healthcare, but they're
UK.
still rated better than the US
Yeah, I mean
to some.
especially then the UK because the UK is working with. Oh shit! I think I need to relaunch No Man's Sky. Um, because the UK is older. It's a lot older, right? NHS is way older. There's a lot of work they need to do to update funding. That if greed is the issue, one idiot murdering someone in cold blood will change things. The answer is no. This is kind of what I've been saying. Because that's the thing. You know what's going to happen, right? They're just going to hire some other fucking douchebag to do the job.
Yeah, and I mean that's not something that I typed out specifically, but that is a thought that I had, even
Yeah.
though although you could also say like Leo addresses that in a way that like at least it'll make them fearful of being shitty about like
But making them fearful is going to do what? Exactly.
less likely to take the job. I guess I don't come from like systemic changes.
My shit is freezing up again. Why does this keep happening? This is so frustrating. My shit freezes up. Hang on. Okay. We're going. We're good. That's so frustrating. Sorry, you were saying? Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just saying that the that like I've been saying this for a while that that I mean the best thing to do is to make systemic changes, in which case
Yeah.
that's more it's more permanent and less bloodshed.
Yeah, well, and also like I said, like I think we have a really really good example to pull from with BLM, right? Where we had people coming doing politically motivated violence in order to achieve an end, and it ended up setting back the movement a good deal, right? And I think that's important for us to recognize. Like, I could point to January 6th all day, but I don't know if that's going to resonate with you guys because you just. You understand when I point to January 6th, the parallels, right?
Yeah, I understand the point you're trying to make.
It's that, politically motivated violence ended up having a very negative effect on the goals they were trying to achieve.
Yeah. And this may very well be that too. It's just I've I've been seeing, unlike those things where it seemed like just exclusively one political side. I've even seen some people that are a little bit more on the right-leaning side, kind of like joining in this unhinged, yeah, fuck that guy, sort of talk.
Yeah, and it's like, what is that? I mean, like, yeah, like, fuck that guy, sure. Like, he's obviously, like, a dickbag, like, who, you know, we don't like. But at the same time, like, you know, what do you guys think a CEO can change, first of all, right? Like, what do you honestly think a CEO can change in his position?
And they can at least not do as much harm, which it seemed like he wasn't. That other guy wasn't doing, because I think that incident took place after like a meeting talking about, hey, look, we've made decisions that have boosted the company's revenue up $450 billion.
Okay, so I'm gonna propose a couple questions to you, and you have to understand. And I don't know why this keeps happening. There's something like, okay, it's back now, but still, that's really fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
So, let me check my prism here. What's it saying? It's excellent. Okay, I don't know what the hell is going on. So, here's the fact of the matter. We want to have universal healthcare as a system, right? We want that. We both agree.
Yeah.
Do we have universal healthcare as a system right now?
No.
So what does that mean we have to have in place for anybody to get healthcare at all?
What do we need to do to get to that goal, is what you're saying?
No.
Is asking?
No. I'm saying if we want anybody in our country to have any healthcare at all, what do we then need to have?
Universal healthcare?
No. We need to have a private healthcare system in the absence of a universal healthcare system. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
It's because we don't have a universal healthcare system. We have no choice but to have a private healthcare system, right? You follow me?
Yeah, I mean, even...
Or nobody's
even, like,
getting healthcare.
Universal healthcare systems, do they have... I mean, I know they have private
Okay.
healthcare, but do they have,
I think you're not really following with me
system?
here. Let me try to set this up a different way, okay? We do not have universal healthcare, right? So in order for anybody to have healthcare until we do have universal healthcare, we need to have private healthcare. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody gets healthcare, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying that means like I'm advocating for private healthcare. I'm saying in the absence of a universal healthcare system, we have private healthcare. Otherwise, there's no healthcare. Do you get it?
It's better than nothing, yeah.
Right, exactly. So we either have private healthcare or nothing as it stands right now. So we have to have private healthcare.
I keep forgetting what your answer was on this. Do I sound louder now?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Or now?
Oh, both sound...
Did I sound louder? Do I sound louder now?
Actually, both sound pretty equal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway.
So we have our private healthcare system, which means there must be private insurers to give that private healthcare, correct?
Yeah.
So if there are private insurers that give that private healthcare, there have to be CEOs, there have to be people who make decisions regarding that healthcare, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So the unfortunate issue about having a private healthcare system is that you are incentivized to make as much money as possible, because it is a private healthcare system, because these are private companies.
Which means deny more care than what
Which
you give
means
out.
deny more
because
care.
that's how you make money.
Because that's how you make money. If all of your competitors are doing the same thing, you're putting your company at a disadvantage next to them by not denying healthcare, right? I am not saying that that makes it okay. I'm just trying to make it clear this is the system we live in, and that's what we have to deal with. And I understand it upsets us, but attacking the companies and the people working at the companies, I think is kind of dumb. Because it's not going to change anything, because they're just playing by the rules of our system. We need to change the system. Our ire needs to be towards the politicians who will not change the system. Because if you're expecting a company like a private healthcare company whose entire existence is going to be, you know, the CEO's job is beholden to the board, right? Or the board will fire him. And then the board's job is to be beholden to the shareholders, right? Or they'll invest elsewhere. So their entire approach to this is going to be to make money. That's how our system works. It's unfortunate because healthcare shouldn't be in a system like that, right? Healthcare should be just provided as a service from the government. But the fact that it isn't
Right.
doesn't mean that we need to go after the people who are playing within the rules of the system, who without them there would be no healthcare at all. It means we need to go after the people making the laws who can actually change the system. Now, what I'm not saying is go and kill politicians, right?
Right.
But what I am saying
You're
is
just saying that this is misdirected anger.
I mean,
You're
not
taking
entirely.
anger on the people
Not
who can't
entirely
really make
misdirected
the difference,
anger.
The people who could make the difference, who just don't.
Right. Because if
Do
you
the
think an insurance company is going to make decisions that hurt their bottom line out of the goodness of their heart, you are smoking some good fucking shit, dude. Because that's never going to happen. It's the same with any other type of insurance, right? You have a pool, you have an insurance pool, and if you give a claim out to everybody who's there, everybody who asked for it for whatever, well, that pool is going to shrink. That's just how insurance works. And that's why it should never be done, you know, for healthcare. Private insurance, that system should never be used for healthcare because it incentivizes them not to pay out things. But because we have a private healthcare system, those companies are working within the bounds of that system. And to ask them to, out of the goodness of their heart, to do something is just, they're not going to do it, right? Because then they're going to say, look at this other healthcare company who's doing things this way, right? Well, why would we put ourselves at a disadvantage against our competitor, right? We are having to raise our prices because we're giving claims out to everybody else, and now we're losing business to the people who have lower prices because they're keeping those prices lower by denying more claims. How's all of this? I threw a lot at you just there, but how's all of this processing?
No, I mean, then again, I don't think we disagree hugely. I guess it's just that I didn't really know what to think, but you're making sense.
Yeah.
That there are people who could make it, who are in a much higher position to make a change,
Yeah.
who we're not talking about here.
And I'm telling you, killing a CEO, while it feels great, right? We're like, fuck that guy, he got what was coming to him, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't change a damn thing. The thing that's going to change something is when we vote for people who support universal health care.
Yeah.
Because that's how things change in this country, right? They certainly don't change. If you do political violence to Americans, it's much more likely that it's going to cause them to dig their heels in, right? And stick to a point just to spite you, because we don't like that kind of shit here. And so, if we're expecting to see like a great deal of change out of this, I think we're tripping, dude. Because like, There's no way healthcare companies are going to see this and be like, oh no, now we're scared, we're going to change our policies. No way in hell that's going to happen.
No, they're probably just going to beef up security or something like that.
That's it. That's all they'll do. It's way cheaper for them to beef up security for their executives than to actually make healthcare more accessible for people or accept more claims. And so, again, like, yeah, it feels good to see this son of a bitch get what was coming to him because of all these things that we place on him for making these decisions, right? Which in reality was just him being beholden to the board, which is beholden to the shareholders, whose whole job is to make as much money as possible so stocks go up and blah, 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 blah. And the whole reason that, you know, it shouldn't even be private in the first place. He's just doing what he was hired to do, which is shitty. Right? That doesn't excuse it, again, but that's all he's doing.
Well, that's the fact of the matter, yeah.
Yeah. And so...
And I mean, I guess that explains why I'm seeing, like a lot of people on, like Twitter and Instagram, like posting the, names of the board of directors since they, like, hid them recently, and now they're like, no, we need to know their names, because, like, I guess threats. But
so Daniel just said something in chat. That's the point I was making in Discord. Increasing the budget in the companies for private security won't bankrupt them. It won't even make a little dent in their bottom line. It's like a drop in the bucket to increase private security. It's barely going to be anything. United Healthcare is the 8th largest company in the entire world. Beefing up their security is going to be fucking peanuts for them. Absolutely nothing. By the way, Thanos, you still haven't followed me, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Now we haven't even started talking about like the societal effects that you and I were agreeing on before, right? About how that could, you know, the way people are reacting to this could inspire a lot of copycats. And then, you know, we're on a slippery slope. We're looking at a potential spiral. And even Leo was acknowledging that that was a possibility. Even Leo was acknowledging that was a possibility, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't think it will be based on, you know, hopes and dreams, right? But like,
well, you said if it gets out of hand specifically.
Yeah, but that's what it is, right? If more people, if one or two more people start doing it, it's getting out of hand. Personally, I think one person doing it is already getting out of hand, right? Because that's not how I believe we change things in this country. Excuse me. But
I think his definition of getting out of hand is that takes a little bit higher of a bar than yours. But I mean, I get your point though.
I agree, but Leo has a higher threshold for what he considers to be like a problem. He is a lot more accepting of politically motivated violence than I am. Which, look, that's his opinion, and he's welcome to have it. And I understand where he's coming from, even though I disagree. But yeah, I don't... In America, that's not how we solve our problems. The last time we did, we fought a civil war that killed so many of our people. The most American lives ever lost was in the American Civil War.
Yeah, I mean, it's always better to find, like, non-violent... Violence should always be a last resort, in my opinion, and the best long-term changes happen from systemic change.
One of the things I
not
haven't
from,
seen...
like, killing someone.
One of the things I haven't seen is, you know, widespread protests against the healthcare industry. People are spending more time protesting something that's not even taking place in our country than something that's actually going to affect millions of Americans. Do you think that's strange?
Yeah.
Oh, and Josh is here too. Hey, Josh. American Josh, not Australian Josh.
Okay.
What's up? Hey, you guys chop it up in the chat. I'd love to see a conversation going there. We're Think of History. Daniel says, think of history downplaying one violent political event as being nothing to worry about is short-sighted and potentially disastrous. It only took one Gavrilo Princip to assassinate one Archduke Franz Ferdinand that plunged the world into misery and suffering. Yeah. My dad apparently says he loves political violence. He's being sarcastic, if he is saying that.
Oh, is he in the stream, or can he just hear you talking?
They're in another room, but they're probably watching.
Okay.
So,
But
yeah.
I mean, I'd say that you I think you changed my mind on this. It's just it wasn't like I was agreeing more with Leo, and then
I didn't think you were.
to your side. Now I'm just saying I was just kind of like, I don't really know what to think. It was kind of obvious I was thinking that, right?
Yeah, like you were. This is why I wanted to talk with you about it, right? It's because it was clear that you were not sure how to feel about this, and I kind of wanted to go into like a lot of the reasoning that I just talked about. Specifically about like. In the absence of a universal healthcare system, we have no choice but to have a private healthcare system, and this is just how business works. And we can't expect a company to change things out of the goodness of its heart because it puts it at a competitive disadvantage with the other companies, and eventually it will lose all its customers. And in doing so, right, it will then, in trying to be the good person, it will then destroy its own ability to function as a business, and that will lead to it not being able to do what it wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
Yo,
Hey, buddy.
long time no see.
Yeah, about
I'm,
what?
I'm
Ooh.
here with your dad. We have a
20
real life
minutes.
diplomat joining in on this conversation.
Well, we weren't really talking about diplomatic matters, but hello, Dad.
Oh, everything's a diplomatic matter, right?
Okay.
Was your
Sorry,
dad typing
were you guys-
in the kick stream?
What's that?
Is your dad typing to you in the kick stream?
No, he's here with me. He's here with me in the Discord.
Yeah, they're in VC.
I was typing earlier.
Who just
Other person.
joined?
Rimp World.
Okay. Mo, we're on live stream. My dad is here. There are people here. Watch your mouth.
Wait, which one is the father?
Me.
I'm
You better
with-
think
I'm
about what
fine.
you're gonna say, buddy.
You should say something, Mr. Ball.
Hello.
Are you proud of your son?
No,
Very proud.
I wouldn't be.
Okay, I'm not gonna be unhinged right now because you're on
Okay.
live stream, so I respect that. I'm gonna leave.
Thank you,
Why did he leave?
He didn't want
because
to say
he
anything in
didn't
front
want
of
to
you.
be unhinged.
And that's the
We
only
know
way
how
he can
unhinged
behave.
he can be, right? Right,
Sometimes
Jordan.
That is the only way he can behave. What's that, Thanos?
We know how
Little do you
unhinged
guys know.
he can be,
Oh.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I love him to death.
Little do you guys
But-
know, Jordan's
Yeah.
dad is the most unhinged.
I don't think so, Josh.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know.
That's
you know?
cute. That's
I mean,
cute,
Okay, out
bro.
of all of us here, who's directed him?
Listen, we are live right now, Josh.
Yeah,
Okay. Don't be talking about
Like I
porn
said,
on my
unhinged.
live stream.
unhinged.
Anyway, did you guys hear what we were talking about, or did you just come on to?
We came
Say
on for
hello.
1 minute.
I heard you say something about the healthcare
Yeah, we were.
system.
I was talking about how this is the portion of this is misdirected anger. How we should be voting, not shooting.
Oh yeah, United guy. Yeah, I agree. It's ridiculous. Like on one hand, it's like I get it. The healthcare system sucks, and I want to see universal health care like anybody. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, it's a sad state of society when you start seeing people celebrating a dude getting shot in the street, like assassination style. Like that's like the downfall of like society right there. If that shit continues
But
to happen.
beyond that, I was talking about like how how an insurance system works in the first place, how a CEO's job is affected by, you know, the board and then their shareholders, how doing things out of the goodness of their heart within a private healthcare system, because we don't have a universal healthcare system, would put it at a competitive disadvantage and could eventually end up bankrupting a company because they'd have to raise prices versus their
corporation is
competitors.
evil, not the person. Yeah, corporations are evil, not the individual necessarily.
Well, the
just 'cause they work for
corporations
one.
are just competing within their market, right? If they're going to,
That's why.
let's say, like I was explaining to Thanos, let's say they want to start granting more claims out of the quote-unquote goodness of their heart, they're going to have to raise premiums. And if they raise premiums, customers are going to try to find other options. And if customers try to find other options, their insurance pool is going to shrink. They're going to have to raise premiums even further, and eventually it could put them out of business.
That's why universal healthcare is the answer, because
Agreed.
people, I understand that people, if the products are make sense for capitalism, but healthcare shouldn't be a product. Everyone needs healthcare, so therefore, like, no one's going, oh, I think I want to buy Call of Duty instead of insulin. Like, you shouldn't have to make that choice. So it's not something that we should be commodifying, because yes, everybody needs it. Of course, you can make a lot of money selling something that somebody needs. It's exploitative.
Inelastic goods should never be privatized.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's, yeah. If it's like, what do you call it? Plastic surgery or whatever, fine. But like
Plastic
elective
surgery is not in. Elective surgery is elastic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree, Mr. Ball?
Yeah, I do.
Mr. Ball agrees.
There we go.
What does Thanos think?
Ball Senior. It's Thanos or Thanos?
It's Thanos.
Thanos think.
Yes, and he's a cheek clapper.
Thanos is Thanos. And Thanos is
What?
like, he's a cheek clapper. Thanos is
Yeah.
like, I don't even know who you are.
Dad, 38.1 points for Jamar Chase. 166.62 points for me.
Anyways, we have to get going and do some work. But it was good talking to you guys.
Daniel.
Jordan, I can hear you say, I can hear you talk first, and then I hear you delayed speaking through my phone after. It's very funny.
So Daniel just said in chat, sort of like Jordan was saying earlier, acts of violence can derail a valid cause and change the narrative for the worse. Many of the aims of the Black Lives Matter movement, and I was talking about this before you guys came on, had goals of bringing attention to disadvantages black people face, and there were hundreds of rallies with no violence. But it only took corruption with some of the leaders and several protests that turned violent, and any wind in the sails of positive progress towards helpful legislation was killed totally. And you know, the interesting thing is, Dad, and Dad can attest to this, when this violence started, I was all for it, right? You remember that? I was in support of that, and I learned my lesson then with Black Lives Matter. I learned my lesson about, you know, supporting political violence with Black Lives Matter. I
Yeah,
learned
'cause
that it doesn't work.
I was arguing the model of Martin Luther King, and you were
Yeah.
arguing the model of the Black
Mal-
Panthers.
And Malcolm X,
Malcolm X.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Malcolm X actually changed, but later it was like,
Yeah.
Who's arguing for Kahane?
Nobody.
Mayor Kahane. Nobody. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
More of a Golda Meir. All right. All right. Bye bye.
All right,
Take
we'll see
care.
you later, buddy. So,
Bye.
bye, Dad. So, yeah, I think that was a pretty good little addition that they added. Now I wanna hear like your thoughts in the other direction.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Well, because you were having conflicting thoughts, right?
Oh, are you asking like why I was like my previous thoughts as to like why it could be justified or something.
Yeah, totally.
Like that? Yeah, well, I mean, because I said that and like I said that violence is should never be a first resort. You should not rely on that. At the same time, it should never be a never. That was my thought at the time, and I was in my thoughts that were conflicting with this was like, then again it went along the lines of then again we've been the only first world country without one of the few first world countries, if not the only, that hasn't had made any sort of changes to make universal health care.
Well, we have made changes. The Affordable Care Act was a step in the right direction. It got gutted, unfortunately. It could have been a lot more, but it was a step in the right direction. There's still a long way to go, but again, yeah, this ain't it. This isn't how we're gonna make it happen, right? Gunning people down in the street, that's not gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel.
Yeah, dude. What's up, bro? Yeah, it's just what I told my mom. People are upset, and it's wild because it seems like an intelligent, kid that did that.
Yeah.
But
It's sad.
but no matter what, bro, he ain't gonna fix shit. This is just like the same thing as killing the head of ISIS, dude. The snake just grows a new head.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not gonna be a new fucking CEO that does the same type of profit margin type of moves.
That's their
constantly.
job. That's their job.
it's-
That's what they're gonna do.
Kid could have grew up to become a fucking lawyer or something. He seemed intelligent enough to make
Going to
bigger
jail
differences.
for at least like 20 years, probably.
Yeah, for something that will not change the system whatsoever.
Because this is
It's pretty retarded.
It's pretty clear first-degree murder charge, right?
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah. Well, it's sad, bro. And we've been talking all day. I've been really worried about, the internet's reaction to this.
Why?
Well, because they're all celebrating it.
Yeah.
And
Both
making
left
more
and right.
calls for.
I gotta
Yeah.
tell you, dude, the one thing I do appreciate is how much it's unified people. It
Did
seems
it?
like both liberals. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, liberals thought immediately that this was like a liberal movement. Republicans, there's like 2 Republicans at all that's really fucking been Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro.
So everybody's
lot of people have been highly
supporting this?
critical.
That fucks me up, dude.
That's the wild. Yeah, I don't support murder either, but it is wild to see how many people I see from both liberal and Republican sides supporting this. Not supporting it, but more
Earlier.
so on like a high understanding. Like they just believe like we understand why he did it. I'm always gonna be on the side like, nah, I don't understand why. he
Oh,
just
I
gunned down a fucking
understand.
family
I
man.
understand why he did it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I
There's a lot of
agree
people
with the
that don't
reasoning.
support. Right. Well, that's the thing. My bad. I guess agree with the reasoning. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, well, I would never do it, but I agree with why he did it. Kind of. It's
Well,
coming
if
from
you
both
would
left and
never
right.
do it, then shut the fuck up, bro. If you would
Yeah,
never
that's-
do it, there's a
yeah.
reason you would never do it, right?
Nah, you would never tell somebody to murder somebody. Also, knowing truly, like, for such an intelligent person, I guess it's to send a message is a very Ted Kaczynski moment.
It is.
Yeah. It's our modern day Ted Kaczynski.
And what did Ted
It's,
Kaczynski accomplish?
Nothing. But he did create a manifesto, which seemed like it was predicting the fucking, future in a sense.
Yeah, but that future was not that hard to predict. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and that's the same thing. His manifesto is something we're already pretty much aware of. So it's not like it was the most fucking genius thing either. It's not like this kid's just a great genius. It's just like, Jesus Christ, he stated the obvious and then committed murder. Like, what the fuck?
Daniel in chat just said, one thing I'll say, Thanos, is the Democratic Party sucks at messaging. You're damn right. The ACA helped get about 20 million people access to health care and kept insurance companies from denying pre-existing conditions. You can stay on your parents' plan until age 26 married. or unmarried. There were a lot of really great things that the ACA did. Like I said, unfortunately, a lot of the original plan got gutted, and then it got gutted again later on, and so there ended up being a lot of problems with it. But yeah, you know, it's a step in. It was a step in the right direction in a lot of ways. You know,
Yes,
there were.
I mean, I'm too young to remember a time before that part of the watered down Affordable Care Act, because I mean that all probably got passed when I was a kid, and
Well,
I
it
mean,
was
if
watered
didn't, I
down from the
probably-
get-go. It was watered down
I
from the
totally
get-go,
agree
and then
with
it got watered down again because the original Affordable Care Act included a public option, an actual universal health care option. But that got torpedoed in Congress. And I don't want to be partisan here, Daniel, but it was torpedoed by Republicans.
For a good reason, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, that's a good conversation for another time. We'll do some
because of the
research.
constant the constant, like, because ever since shit like that got passed, the fucking other health insurances started making, like, you know, affordable health care when you want to actually just pay for private health insurance, insanely impossible to pay for. And
Yeah, but
that's largely due to all those bills that have passed.
that's because we didn't have a public option. That's like one of the big reasons why it became more expensive. Because the whole
but from what most people tell you in the 90s, like, health insurance used to just be a fucking simple and cheap thing that everybody had, and they paid, you know, much smaller fees than what was going on in today's world.
But the reason why the Affordable Care Act was made in the first place was because it was getting ridiculously expensive. And it is actually lower than it would have been had private healthcare continued without the Affordable Care Act. And they've done all these calculations and everything.
Yeah, you know, I'm not as informed about health insurance and shit
That's
that I
okay.
should be.
I would love for us to go back and do like a bunch of research, and both of us come back and like have an in-depth discussion about it at one point, because I'm not up to date on everything either. Like, I want to, you know, get more familiar.
I could
with
probably
a lot of
learn more.
things.
I just know that's one of the number one talking points, and that's one of the number one things that my parents have brought up. To, like, I mean, we all just had health insurance, and it was just cheap. It was just something you paid.
Well, you know,
like,
I had it from
$40 a month for.
Yeah,
And it's like now it's something that's just crazy.
So
You know,
again,
it's
before
an unaffordable
the
thing.
ACA, the big reason why there was the ACA in the first place was because it was, you know, those premiums had gotten out of hand by that point. So it wasn't like the 90s anymore. But yeah, I would love to do like a deep dive into the ACA, because there's a lot to go into there. There's a lot that happened. There's a lot of weeds to get into there. It's obviously very complicated. But, you know, it wasn't perfect, but it you know, I generally view it as a step in the right direction. Likely positive because of the fact that yeah, that's right, because Thanos just sent me a message. He just said, you know, he's still on his parents' health insurance at 22 because of the Affordable Care Act.
As you rightfully should be. Now, the
Yeah.
guy who assassinated the CEO, he was actually 26, no longer on his health care, and his parents' health care anymore, because he turned 26.
One of the things I do like about living in California is if you do not make enough money to afford health care, you do get free health care here. And that is thanks to the Affordable Care Act.
You're right.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
this is also
I'm pretty
like,
pro universal health care. I actually
Yeah.
think that there just needs to be a better system where we help private health insurance companies as well as, you know, creating a more universal system for
I'm going to come back to that
should have
point.
the right.
I'm going to come back to
pay
that
for
point in a
better health
second,
insurance.
but I think Thanos wanted to say something, so I want to give him
Oh, yeah,
a
go
chance
ahead. My bad, buddy.
to get in.
Hit it.
yeah, I was just saying that, like what you said about California, California having that in. I mean, I guess this goes to tell you that, like, it doesn't just have to either be a countrywide thing or nothing at all. You can even do this at the state level to some degree. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen in my state, but it's I mean, it's good to hear that it's possible since it's happening in your state. And I guess I mean, both of you
Yeah, and
guys
our
live
state
in
has
Cali.
55 million. So,
Yeah, we have a lot of people. We have a big tax pool, so we're able to afford
Yeah.
it. But that's one of the things with the original design of the Affordable Care Act. There would have been a countrywide pool, so we could have taken some of that extra surplus that we make in taxes and put that towards the healthcare pool that could have applied to all Americans. And you know what? I'm not the kind of guy who says like, well, our state is paying for all of you, fuck you guys. I'm the kind of guy that says, hey, if we have money as a state to put towards the healthcare of other states and other Americans around the country,
I
I'm
agree.
all for it. Yeah.
as far as my tax money going to infrastructure and roads and buildings
100%.
and healthcare, those are always my number ones. It's like when my money goes to bullshit, I get upset. Or, you know, our country's money. But that, yeah, man, I don't like when you see also how much we
You
fund
love it
for
when it
how much
houses
other-
illegal immigrants, right?
No, I don't believe in housing illegal immigrants. That's exactly the shit going on in New York and fucking Chicago is like that's
we
exactly
should
what
go
I'm
into
talking
that
about.
sometime as well. 'Cause
Kill those programs and fucking, you know, learn how to fucking balance out the money and create a better universal healthcare system by state, you know?
hey, that could help going. I mean, it's going to take a lot more than like that program or those programs like it, but maybe. I know there's a lot, and I have to do more study on what the deal is with those programs, because I'm sure it's not just like a blanket like, oh, we're keeping all. I'm sure there's some rationale there that I'm just not aware of, because it sounds weird. Daniel in chat says, one of the main reasons insurance is more expensive now is not only inflation growing from the 90s, but also the amount of people living longer has increased exponentially. That is true. Because of so many people living much longer and having more health problems pop up, population has exploded and healthcare is very slow in catching up. The same is true for doctors and nurses. There aren't enough. That is a very interesting point. Thank you, Dan. What do you guys think about that? Dennis?
I mean, that's probably a factor. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It is tough though, because it's like, you know, if the population went up, wouldn't like, you know, our GDP go up? Wouldn't we have the money to be able to still kind of properly afford that?
Yes,
But I don't
we
know
have
how it
to
works.
actually.
I really don't know how it works.
I mean, yeah,
It just
but we like.
sometimes there's always excuses, and I wonder how I can combat the excuses.
So
you know?
our GDP goes up, but you know, like seniors, people who are retired, they're not contributing that much to GDP, right, per capita. So yes and no. Again, if we're looking at like a standard insurance business, that has to go into an insurance like pool, right? Those premiums have to. Those premiums have to go into like a big pool that can cover everybody, and as long as you add more people, those premiums have to go up to cover everybody regardless. And because a lot of those people are on the older side, they can't contribute as much of their premiums, and a lot of times they get like, you know, when they sign up for healthcare, they might get like a set premium, like a fixed premium. And so then the insurance companies won't be able to like up it for them, but so they'll have to up it for newer customers. There's like a whole lot of factors that'll go into why it gets more expensive overall, which again is why we all agree that we need, you know, a publicly funded that just forgets premiums and just takes it from taxes, right? But yeah, that's how that goes. Daniel says, I'm specifically referring not to the general population going up, but the population of older retired people. Yeah. They
Right.
definitely
So I
deserve
just
to be taken
googled.
care
I
of,
just
protected,
googled the
and discussed.
stats. In 1990, is 12.5% of the population was over 65 years old, and today in 2022, at least in the last consensus, it's 17.3%. So it went up less than 5%.
Yeah, but
I
less
don't
than
know if that's
5% of 330
of the
million
extra
people.
million.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Compared to the
people.
250 million, compared to the 250 million of the 1990s.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So-
man. It's the
Well,
5%
hang on.
somewhat of a thing,
Let's-
but I don't know
let's
if
do
it's
the
as
math.
significant.
Let's do the math. So you said 12% of 250 million?
12.5.
All right, so let
Correct.
me do the math. So
compared to the 17.3 of the. I think we're at like 380 million now.
12.5%. 31.25 million in 1990. So we'll say 350 million times 17.
Maybe 380. I think we're at 380. So
380.
yeah.
380 times 17 point. How much?
17.3.
17.3%. 65,740,000. So it doubled.
Going up. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that 5% was a doubling of the
Yeah.
total of the elderly. But and then the same time, while it went up 30 million, we increased 130 million. So it's an extra 100 million people, you know, in this country. I feel like that still is all significant in the cash flow system of what we got going on in our economics. I don't know if it just doesn't properly balance out. I can see the small increases for sure, but I mean, it's been massive fucking increases, like just absolutely gigantic increases.
Well, I mean, there's definitely market factors as well, right? Like I said, in order to remain, I was talking about earlier, I don't know if you heard any of this, in order to remain competitive, they have to try to deny more people in order to keep their premiums
capitalist
down
system.
as much as possible next to everybody, all of their competitors, in order to not put themselves in a place where people will leave them to go to a cheaper competitor, right? And that's part of it as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, like, it's a big mess. It's been a big mess. The ACA helped a little bit, but we still are missing a public option, and in order for us to really solve the problem, we do need a tax-funded public option. And once again, I don't know if you saw the 60 Minutes interview with Trump, but he once again said he has concepts of a plan for healthcare. So I don't feel like
we'll see how it goes. I don't know if he's gone into too much detail of what his plan is.
He's gone into zero detail.
Yeah, I feel much more confident about his other policies. I've never been a very big, like, Trump's healthcare policy is what I defend.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so
because there isn't one.
Somebody who could really solve this issue. I don't know.
Daniel in chat says it should be considered, but how many are people below 18 has to be considered too? Oh, that's
agree.
true.
I was thinking that, and I didn't even say it, but you know, good for him calling me out. I was thinking that too.
The census from last year, we got 346 million people, which is
if anything, we have less children being born.
So he said 346 million people, which means that 17.3% is actually a higher percent. It's actually a higher number. So I'll just do a quick little calculation there. 346 million.
Would be 59 mil.
Times
17.3%.
Yeah, 59,858. So about 60 million. Yeah.
So almost doubled.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's a big problem, and we need people. The problem is like.
The problem truly is greed. There does seem to be a massive. If like the profit margins of CEOs, I'm very pro-capitalist, but I'm also pretty anti-greed, which is a contradictory statement.
I'm pro-capitalist.
But it's not right.
In things that like should be capitalist.
Margins of what they are today compared to what they were 40 years ago. I mean, it's gone insane. I heard
should not be a private
what book
industry.
It was, but there was a book that broke down what the 80s did to CEO culture. And like the 80s was just such a it just created like the new competition. It created the new competition is how much money can we shave to look like I'm the biggest top dog there is. It wasn't so much about growing the business as much as it was about
competition,
building the CEO bank accounts. You know, everything became even more cutthroat where they were less attached to these businesses. They are more willing to write off shit as bankruptcy, start up new companies. Like it just became more based on the entrepreneurial aspect of a fucking single individual and not like the overall.
Well, I think that brings me to sort of what I see as a somewhat obvious question as a response. How do you feel about then the biggest CEO, the richest man in the world, being so close to government policy?
I just think he does so much good, and I mean, he's insanely rich, and he just keeps growing and growing. But I don't know what's like. Does Elon have people inside his company's claim? Because I know that like the articles came out about Tesla, but then I knew a Tesla manager, and he's like, "Dude, we love our business. We love working at the Tesla." He worked at the Tesla factory, and he's like, a lot of the articles that come out that are so negative about Tesla workers being worked like slave traders and being underpaid, it's like doesn't feel very true compared to like
Well,
our
I
factory.
mean that is kind of anecdotal, right?
Right. Right.
What I know is
I don't
that
know, man.
from-
I just don't know if he's like the. All right, go ahead.
What I know is from people that I have known at SpaceX is that when he started focusing on Twitter, they started getting a lot more done. And yeah, and so I think he has an eye for good companies to purchase, but I think his personality is too big to actually be much of a positive. And look, you can say whatever you want about liking Twitter better now than it used to be, but the fact of the matter is it's worth a fraction of what it used to be.
No, that's not true. When he purchased it was already such a higher valuation than what it was already valued, and then because like that's a major factor. Like he overpaid for Twitter, and that was already even from like the moment he was purchasing it. People are like, "That's outrageous to pay $44 billion for it."
Okay,
But,
so let me give you an example. In 2022, Brand Finance valued Twitter at $5.7 billion. By 2023, it had dropped to nearly $3.9 billion. And by 2024, it had fallen to $673.3 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I mean, even if that whole thing fucking lost him $44 billion, I still think it was the greatest purchase of all time. I largely believe that his purchase of Twitter is largely what helped Trump win. So I think the overall,
Yeah, but why do you think
Like-
that is?
because of the liberal control, like the people he fired, there was a higher censorship, just like the censorship that was going on Instagram and Facebook. Bro, I got banned for a month.
I
talking
understand
about
that, and I
fucking
don't
vaccines.
disagree with the bannings
I got
either.
and so hear me out. Let me finish.
Okay.
Not only when he bought Twitter did he release the amount of people that can say what they want to say, and then the news articles. Ronnie is one of my buddies who I told he voted Biden in 2020, voted Trump 2024, but he's never lost an election. He voted Obama 12, Trump 16, Biden 2020, right? He told me specifically, he's like, bro, I just didn't realize like how many other news articles that I wasn't being aware of, and there was so much shit going on in the world and so many things that you just don't see reported on the left side that was being heavily reported and censored during 2020, 2021 from the right. So not only did it open up that whole like, atmosphere of people just, releasing everything, but then Mark Zuckerberg eased up on all the censorship. Mark Zuckerberg stopped blocking people from Instagram and Facebook. I think when Elon opened the doors for Twitter, it just became easier for all social media to go, all right, we got to quit with the censorship. And then that's a large reason as to why Trump won.
Okay, and well, yeah, but you're looking at it from a very particular perspective, right?
Right, but
And-
look at it this way. Maybe he didn't make the money out of Twitter, but now look at where he's at.
I'm not talking about
Well, it's
money,
like it's a
right?
win.
As a Trump
Right.
supporter, you look at that and you say, well, that's part of why Trump won, and that's great. But from a perspective like mine, I'm seeing the allowance of a lot of misinformation, as I see it, to be spread everywhere, and like that's okay, I guess, because it's free speech. But when I talk to people about
Well,
certain things who get all of their
I don't
news and
like just
spend
calling
all their
everything
time
misinformation.
I'm not calling everything misinformation. I'm specifically
Right, because,
referring to certain things. But let me just finish.
Okay,
When when you have people that I talk to who spend a lot of time on Twitter, who get all their news from Twitter, and they're like completely unaware of certain things, well, that sets off alarm bells in my head. It tells me, well, if you are on this platform, which is for free speech, you're seeing all of these things, and you're not aware of these things that like a whole other group of the population
I
is
need
aware of.
specific examples because there's still open dialogue from both sides.
Well,
on
I'm
Twitter.
trying to think back of like some of the things that you and I have talked about.
I could tell you something specifically that happens. How many people were blocked over supporting ivermectin hydroxychloroquine? Which, by the way, that there's a COVID-19 500-page report that's been put out on the White House. And you know, one of the biggest things that they discuss in that 500-page report that was just released, which I would love for you to really dig into
Oh
that.
yes, please
is
do,
that
because I bet what you're
ivermectin
about to
and
say isn't in that.
Ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, which is now admitted in that page report, is an effective use against COVID. Now, what Bobby Kennedy said, the guy who I heavily fuck with, and was a major reason why.
Before you
know,
continue
decided-
about Bobby Kennedy, I want to say this. I read every single individual study that was put out about hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, and I didn't see a single one that actually
according-
demonstrated beyond placebo.
Yeah, and one thing I have to say on this is that there's a I forgot its name, but there's a really good AI that's it's like called something like Consensus.ai, where you can ask any sort of scientific question that has to do with the research, and then it'll pull up all the research papers and give you a consensus as to if this is true, not true, the likelihood of it. And I asked it that question specifically, and it was 0% chance, zero research papers documenting it.
You could also, have you not seen like what you could do with ChatGPT when you ask the positives of Trump? Have you seen like
forget
all
the
AI
AIs.
programs?
Forget the AIs.
That are being programmed.
I
from
read
liberal
all
programmers.
of the studies. I read them all. I spent that time reading every single one of those studies, and not a single one of them. The only one that I saw that tried to say there might be a positive correlation was a sample size of like 20 people.
Well, sir, let's see if there's more updated research.
I would love to see it.
There's more.
If you got it, send it my way. I would love to see it. I'll even go through it on stream with the both of us together.
It also said in the 500-page report that there's government officials, including the Cuomo administration, that withheld information, like vital information for the reports of COVID. And that's the handling of like their hospital procedures was actually a massive failure.
Well, show me the evidence.
Hid a lot of information.
I'll take a look at it.
I'm just gonna get the White House page itself,
That's
and then
fine.
I'll
take a
some
look at
articles
it,
that
and
dig
we
into
can go over it next time on stream.
I'll try and find.
Daniel in chat just said, "Isn't it interesting? One of the main talking points about George Soros-funded media being so evil doesn't hold up anymore. You have a billionaire, one of the richest men in the world, purchasing the largest source of news and using it to fund a political candidate of his choice, boosting people he agrees with in the algorithm, and deboosting those he doesn't. I'd be for Elon if he boosted both parties equally, but the promised free speech absolutism hasn't shown up." What do you think about that?
I don't know. I heard George Soros and just saw.
Yeah,
red.
he's basically saying
Yeah.
the boogeyman that you guys point out. George
Boogeyman
Soros
is
to
a
be.
huge
Hang on, let me finish.
The guy who funds
Let me
the
finish,
mayors and
bro.
DAs
Let
of
me
the most
finish
violent
before.
states in America.
Let me finish before we spiral into conspiracy land. What he's saying is, the boogeyman that you guys point to George Soros to being, everything that you guys describe him to be, Elon Musk is doing.
No, I completely disagree. George Soros was funding people like Gascon, who was allowing mass prisoners to come out, and almost every DA that fucking George Soros funds believes in a no bail or no cash bail system. That's going on within like dozens of cities around America, and then the crime has increased in each one of those cities, like a double amount. It's just insane, the types of people like that. Every single one that Soros supports, from the mayors, the DAs, and Elon Musk broke down what Soros is really well. He discussed how this is an individual who realized that it's easier to fund like more radicalized. So basically, you can't change certain laws in this country. He's like, no matter how much you fight to try to get these people in office to change the law, they won't. But what you can change is who enforces the law.
Okay.
So essentially, George Soros has been, funding some of the most radicalist like individuals to come in and be the ones to enforce the laws. That's why he always funds fucking prosecutors
Okay,
all over.
so
In the top 50 most violent cities of America, I swear 44.
I think we're getting a little off. I think we're getting a little bit off track here. So I want to reread what he said, but then I also want to give Thanos a second to jump in because he was trying to say something as well. So he said, "You have a billionaire, one of the richest men in the world, purchasing the largest source of news and using it to fund a political candidate of his choice, boosting people he agrees with in the algorithm and deboosting those he doesn't."
Right.
That
and the
is a
government had
problem.
Mark Zuckerberg. No, man, the problem is not a guy who owns an individual business, but a government who goes to that
I
guy
think
who owns a business
classifying
and then
it as
convince.
just
and
an
then
individual
I
business.
think when Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that the government, the FBI, knocked on his door and told him he needs to censorship anything that goes against what the media is trying to push during 2020, I think that's a far larger issue, and that's actually what happened.
You keep talking about. You haven't really addressed any of those points that he made about Elon, because it is true that Elon is doing those things.
Well, yeah, supporting a candidate. Yeah, he owns.
No, but he's in that
Twitter.
algorithm. He is boosting right-wing sources and deboosting left.
But in the that's my problem. Is that was already going on with the government before Elon. That's the thing. Is Elon finally combated what was already happening? What Elon's doing is just saying, all right, well, let's just make this more of a fair game.
But how
because
are we
that's
gonna?
what
If that's
Mark
the case,
Zuckerberg said was happening, and Jack Dorsey said happened.
so
They
let's
happen to
say
both of
that's
them.
the case. How
Yes.
can he still claim to be the free speech absolutist if he's now doing the opposite? Whatever
Because
the
he's
reasons,
not
whatever the
censoring.
reasons
He's not
are.
censoring. The problem is Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg were censoring. He still even though he pushes an algorithm that's more in favor of Trump, they pushed algorithms more in favor of Biden, but then censored those that were Trump. Or censored those
I
that were
agree they
anti-vaccine,
shouldn't
or
be
censored those.
censoring people, but I
But
can't.
that's the difference. That's the clear
I don't-
difference.
But you realize why I hear that, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not really like that. Doesn't make me feel any better about it, right? Like I'm still
That's
like, well,
fine,
that's kind
but
of
one
bullshit.
is clearly, I guess, but one is clearly less of an issue than the other. And all of legacy media pushes, the reports came out that it was like 80% positive news sources on Kamala, on MSNBC, ABC, CNN, and it was somewhere around 90% negative.
Yeah, but it was
stories
this.
on
It was
Trump.
the reverse.
I mean,
it was
dude,
the
it's-
reverse for Fox. So and Fox has a much larger viewership than all of them. So we don't want to go down that road. I want to give Thanos his opportunity to jump in because he wanted to bring it back.
individually, but then there's still all of them collectively, and they
not
should be viewed
really.
as something
Not
collectively.
And online in the alternative media source, it is heavily in favor of right wing sources, where more and more people are increasingly getting their news from. But like I said, I want to let.
That's
Thanos,
because more and more people are just frustrated with the way things have been going.
That's
in the
fine.
country,
We can talk about the reasoning for that if we want
Okay.
to. But I want to let Thanos jump in because you and we talk a lot, and it's
That's
tough
fine.
for someone else to get a word in when you and I are going at it.
When, man, yeah, you should see us in
This is
person.
kind of
It's even
going
worse.
back to it's kind of just going back to the conversation we had a little bit earlier about the AI. About the like the ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and all that. The AI I was talking about is I send it to you in DMs, and that AI is it's specifically meant to be asked scientific questions like that. It's not something like ChatGPT where it's like a general thing that you can ask
Right.
it all sorts of anything, and it might give
My
you
issue is who programmed the
give you a
AI.
somewhat
That's it.
one-sided answer.
My issue is just who programmed the AI. Like who's the team? What's the political team's beliefs? Can you see?
Well,
Like,
let's
there's-
say I were to tell you who that is. What are you going to do with that information?
Simple. Like, if this is somebody that's, a science above all, I would just want to see what their criticisms are, or if there's somebody that's like a staunch pro-vaccine.
But
You know-
let's say it is a staunch pro-vaccine, which is, most
No,
of
then
the educated
they're
community.
able. So AI is
Yeah.
not
Let
perfect
me
yet.
let me
Not
just finish my
it's
question.
not like
Let me just finish my
a
question.
sentient being quite yet. It's still
Hang
just
on. I'm
programmed.
not saying it
you know,
is.
support
I'm not
their
saying
views.
it is. Let
Yeah.
me just finish my question.
Go ahead.
Let's say it is a staunch pro-vaccine person, which I'll remind you is the vast majority of educated people. How
Because that's where the
would-
empirical.
And I'm not. No, I'm saying anti-vaccine. I'm saying
I'm not
when
saying
we
you are.
push
Let me just finish
mRNA
the question.
vaccines.
How would you know, other than say assuming that their bias is influencing how they program it? How would you know that it
Absolutely.
is?
I wouldn't, but I can tell you that there's at least
You don't think
skepticism
there's
that
an
can
issue
be
there?
arise. There's because there's bias in the other programs, so of course it's going to immediately, just because of already the corrupted programs that are going on in other AI software, it's going to immediately raise skepticism. In
So
this
the
one.
only one that I'm aware of that had an issue with bias was ChatGPT.
Yeah, there's that, and there's one other. There's like one other, Meta, and then there's actually two others. There's like there's like four different. The Google one. What's the Google
But, like,
AI called?
Gemini. My understanding
Gemini, Meta, ChatGPT, and I
my
swear there's one
understanding
more,
is
too.
even Grok is
Well, yeah,
giving
Grok
answers
is pro-right.
that no, even Grok is giving answers that on these topics that wouldn't agree with what you're saying.
With what? Specifically?
Regards to vaccines and different things like that.
But what about vaccines specifically? Look, all I was saying is that there's other methods to treat COVID than the vaccine that was given to us. A lot of people support that
Monoclonal
idea.
antibodies.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And
you
that's
know,
one
as
we
far
all
as,
agree with, by the way.
But here's the problem. So Robert Kennedy Jr. broke it down, and it was really interesting. And this is why I kind of almost want to see trials over this. You know, we'll see how it goes once they're in office. But he broke it down that there's a like a law or a bill passed where essentially the reason why the media nor the government nor anybody in medicine could admit that there was other options for helping COVID, that there could be other studies, other ways to treat COVID if you're sick, people who are more susceptible to death to COVID as opposed to natural immunity, and people who will get over it. The reason why none of that could be admitted is because there's laws that protect vaccine mandates. And so they had to push the idea that there is only one solution in order to pass the mandates. And those mandates prevented people from going to school. They prevented people from going to work. They prevented
And
people.
I agree
was
that how we
insanity.
handled a lot of those mandates was crazy. But the purpose of making sure that a vaccine is distributed to the society is not just for the individual getting the vaccine. And you understand
Right,
that as well.
But the other issue is, I mean, look, man, when you look at something like these other diseases, like measles, mumps, polio,
That are now making
with
a
those
comeback, by
vaccines,
the
they
way.
make sense. In what regions, though? In like small little regions that get fixed.
No,
almost
there
immediately,
have
and then they
been
get
there have
polarized in the
been
news.
outbreaks. There have been outbreaks in numbers that just haven't happened. We haven't had outbreaks in decades until we started having all the anti-vax sentiment.
What was that one study that showed the vaccines actually gave Africans polio? We sent a bunch of vaccines over to Africa, and then
Yes,
when we
so-
vaccinated them.
We talked about this actually. You and I already talked about this. So there were cases of vaccine caused polio, and those cases were
Mhm.
still lower than the rates of actual polio.
Okay, I do remember you mentioning that
Yeah.
to me. Still, it's always going to create seeds of distrust. And then
And that's like, I understand that, right? But then when we address those seeds of distrust, we have to live in a reality where people can hear those seeds of distrust be addressed.
you'd be surprised how much reality is, anecdotal experience. And
But
when
that's-
I know
that's
somebody
problem.
who's been personally
That's
vaccine
problematic.
injured,
And
how
I know
many
you
people
have.
been vaccine injured? How
There's
many
all-
is like the
vaccine
real question?
injuries-
Because then, when you still see one vaccine injury, what you really create is a community of maybe 20 individuals that now don't
I
trust that
understand.
vaccine.
I
because of one individual
understand,
that's been injured.
but nobody has ever
and then
said.
when you
Nobody has
mask
ever
take
said
something?
that there is no possibility for vaccine injury. Nobody has ever said that.
No, but you know what they did say? They said, and this is a fact, dude. Everybody fucking said it. If you get the vaccine, you can't catch COVID, and then that turned out not to be true.
No,
So-
we need to watch those videos
I
together.
could watch.
because
I could watch all those videos, dude. There's
remember,
a
we
shit ton
talked
of them.
about this, and I know I've seen some of the videos that you're referring to, and that's not
Rachel
really what
Maddow,
was said. Well,
Don
Rachel.
Lemon,
Well,
Joe
let's not talk.
Biden.
Okay,
Joe
look,
Biden said it. If you get
Joe-
vaccinated,
Joe
Fauci
Biden
said it, bro.
Fauci did
Fauci
not
knew
say
better.
it. I
He
watched.
knew.
I watched the Fauci video that everybody's talking about. That's not what he said. We need to watch
So
that
when
one
you say,
together.
okay, all right,
but-
because when you say something like that, if you get vaccinated, you will not get COVID. When you say something like that, and then people are getting vaccinated and still
Daniel,
catch COVID.
Daniel in chat is saying many of those videos were clipped together and edited. So that is interesting.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
doesn't mean that they're not a singular. Like that doesn't mean obviously that's what.
I
goes
don't. I'm not
viral.
going to talk about
Obviously,
fucking Don Lemon and Rachel Maddow.
All right,
These are not
forget
doctors.
those. I forget
right?
anyone
This
who's
is
a
not-
news commentator.
Yeah.
Forget any news commentator. We'll only focus on the president and our government and our doctors. But when you get somebody like Fauci or Peter Hotez,
Who
or
used to
anybody
be my
said
dad's
get
doctor, by the way.
vaccinated- Yeah, what?
Fauci used to be my dad's doctor.
Dude, god damn, bro, that's crazy. I never knew Dr. Manglo would fucking have Jewish
Dr.
patients.
Mangala? Are you for real right now? Oh my god.
Yeah, just actually, it makes perfect sense now. He's
Hey,
experimenting
we've got
with
our
you guys.
resident
No wonder why you turned
Aussie.
out the way
We've
you
got our
turned out.
resident Aussie in the chat. How's it going, Josh? Can you? Are you saying words?
but-
Because I can't hear you, buddy.
Look, man.
Wait, Daniel, give me a
I
second.
saw the videos. It doesn't matter if they're clipped together. I would love to see these singular videos as
Yeah,
a whole
let's
the same
do
way.
that. We'll see if we can get them together for next
Fauci
time.
and Biden are the
Some
two most
hang
important
on.
for
Someone
sure.
just came in the
You got
chat.
Biden
I want to
saying it?
make sure
I
that
saw.
he can say what's up. Josh, can you say something? Because
You want to hear my voice?
oh shit, there you are, buddy. Hey.
Australian Josh.
Australian Josh. Oh, that sounds dirty.
Yeah, it is a little dirty. Welcome to the chat. We were just talking about COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
COVID. I miss COVID.
It was nice to have an excuse to stay inside, wasn't it?
Yeah, now I just feel guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel, have you met Josh before?
No, but I was about to say, and nice to meet you, Josh. Nice to meet you. I like to, throw out just joking quips, but I was about to say, as the Republicans might say to you, buddy, go outside and touch grass. It's okay.
True. Hey, I just need to go grab some. I just need to go grab some stuff. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes.
All right. We're live, by the way. So if you want to just jump out and then jump back in when you're back.
Yep. Sweet as.
Cool. That's cool. Good. I haven't talked to Josh in a minute. I'm glad he's in here. Maybe chill.
Yeah, he posts a lot. You guys post too much. It's too hard for me to read all. I'm too busy.
I know you're
I'm
busy.
like, man,
you
I
have
wanna
like
stay-
a fucking working life.
I know. I want to stay up to date with what you guys put. I can't even follow all the different chats, so I try to at least look at what you guys post in the political one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, you guys go off every day. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
shit, I
we
can't
do,
do
and
that.
we get like way into it. I wasn't lying.
I know. I
Yeah.
see that. Yeah, well, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. It's good to read it even if you don't have time to like dive into the discussion, like
Yeah, no,
because
definitely.
obviously we're all towards the left side of the spectrum, so you're going to be seeing a lot of like the left beliefs. I would say Josh is
I believe
probably
you
a
are
bit-
all on a spectrum for sure.
Yeah, right. Which spectrum?
I know you're on a few, Jordan.
Yeah, a couple of them at least. But yeah, it'll just be like good insight for you to read, like, how we're approaching things, seeing things like that. I'm probably, of everybody in here, I would say myself and other Daniel Liddick are probably the closest to center left. Thanos is maybe like a little bit farther left than me, not by too much. And then Josh is a good bit.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure already talking with Thanos.
Okay, cool, yeah. And then Josh is farther left than that, and then Leo is like, he's our resident tanky. He's a nice guy though. I just this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tend
it
to
seems like
disagree
everybody-
with him
you-
on a lot of stuff.
That's fine. Seems like
Yeah.
everybody you talk with is a nice person. That's always cool.
They are. It can get a little spicy sometimes, but you know, at the end
That's
of the
good.
day,
It's supposed to.
yeah.
Bro, my group chat with my like brothers, bro, that I've known since high school, like, man, I'll be fucking going off sometimes in there.
Yeah.
But they added a new person. They added a new person, Justin, and he's like a homie from high school as well. And he's like, what's up? And then my brother, fucking, he just goes, yeah, welcome to Daniel's political rant chat. So like, you know, it's just fun.
I
It's,
mean,
you know,
they should
but
just call it Daniel's
having
conspiracy
healthy
chat.
debates. Having healthy debates is good for society, dude. So that's why I like what you got going.
I'll tell
That's
you
why
what.
I hope you keep building because
One of the things
this
I
is healthy
appreciate,
debate.
one of the things I appreciate most about you, Daniel, aside from how you and I have great chats with, you know, while still having so much
Everything.
respect for each other and all of that shit, and yeah, just everything as a friend. You're a great friend. You've always been a great friend. Is the fact that I am always aware of the newest, craziest conspiracies whenever I talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Like Helen Keller wasn't
All right,
blind.
Helen Keller's not real. Helen Keller, well, you know what's funny is Helen Keller was never blind because then I started wanting to learn more about Helen Keller, and I realized they exaggerated Helen Keller's blindness. That's not really a thing either. They just wanted to hype her up more.
Okay, but
But anyway,
which
that's
one is
irrelevant.
it? Was she not blind or was she not real? Now, see, now we have
an
incongruity.
Not real is like my comedic
Oh,
ability to like. It's like
yeah.
my favorite. I saw this on a meme, so I don't want to take credit for this, but I saw somebody go, dude, whenever somebody drops a conspiracy theory on you, you just gotta one up it. They're like, oh, you believe the moon landing was fake? Oh, you mean you believe in the moon? You know?
Oh yeah, I've seen
Like-
that one, dude. I have seen that one. You're
Yeah, I
you're
love that
you're
one.
but you're not you
I'm
don't
the-
go for that conspiracy, right? You're a moon landing believer, right?
Holy shit, dude! Almost my whole life I've been a moon landing believer.
No,
It's
no.
so rocky. I don't know.
I can clear this up for you. I can clear this up for you in 2 seconds. Okay, this is an easy one.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Okay.
The dust in the videos from on the moon would be literally impossible to replicate on Earth.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, dude, I don't know. I've always been a pro, like, we landed on the moon believer. But,
yeah, this one you can stick with. I promise you.
alright.
There's
You can't promise me anything.
Well, I mean,
Alright.
I know this with 100% certainty. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, there
Alright,
are other things you can put a little doubt in my mind. But
Say
this one,
99.99% certainty, because there's nothing that's 100% certain.
I will
There.
give, I will actually go that step, and I will say 100% certain. And that dust thing is,
Well, you know
is the
what?
kicker for me. That's
what about the
most
Jews
clear.
committing 9/11, bro? What about that one?
I'm gonna
That one-
say there's a 0.0000001% chance that
can't.
that's true.
You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that, dude. That's not
Listen,
how fucking
listen,
rational
I have
probability
to.
works.
You
That's
could
just
give
not
me
how it
all
works.
the evidence in the world,
That's
and I would
not- no,
still have to
no.
reject it.
Probability does not work. There's no hundreds. There's no zeros.
I didn't
Alright,
say
so
zero.
something is
I said
absolute- okay, alright, dude.
0.0000001.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still kind of believe maybe the Jews did it. That's good. That's good.
Oh wow! Now I'm getting shoehorned in here. This is gonna get sent to my. This is
shit.
gonna get clipped
There
and
was
sent
another
to my mother.
conspiracy.
now.
Hold on. Oh, yeah. I want to tell you this one, dude. I want to tell you this
Okay.
one. So hear me out, because you know I'm not just a conspiracy believer. I'm a conspiracy creator.
Yeah, let's go.
No, I'm serious,
Lay
dude.
it on me. Lay it on me.
All right. So here's the big one. I kind of personally believe, right, that like with all these assassinations going on, with the 2 Boeing hits, with the Trump attempted assassination, and now with this healthcare CEO,
Yeah.
I think that this is all a government psyop to get the public more comfortable with the idea of high political assassinations in order to take out targets and not cause a higher amount of civil discourse.
Okay.
I still think they got more hits in mind, bro. And I still think
I
they're
mean,
just
okay.
committing shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
what do you got to say to
Daniel,
that?
what do I mean, what do you want me to say? I did not nothing to say that. Daniel in chat said, well, the thing is, there are varying degrees of blindness, just like there are varying degrees of deafness. One of the biggest
Oh, he's talking
mistakes
about Helen
people-
Keller?
Yeah, he is. One of the biggest mistakes people make is an all or nothing. But some deaf
That's what I
people
love.
can some deaf people
Conspiracies.
can hear to various degrees of muffled sounds to just bass vibrations, and some blind people can see to varying degrees whether blurry images or just shadows. Maybe that's the conspiracy.
Nah, I
Is
know.
that she wasn't
The thing is,
she wasn't blind, she could see shapes. She wasn't deaf,
Yeah.
she could hear that fucking pumping ass
well,
bass.
the big thing was the fact that it is exactly what it is. But the family had an opportunity to really sell her and pitch her because they were getting this all types of attention. So they just sold it as straight blind and deaf.
Well, I mean,
But
it
that
was
is
the
actually
olden
what it
days.
is.
It was a lot easier to kind of
Yeah,
fudge
that part
things
too.
back then.
Absolutely, 100%.
I remember
And then
back in
same
the
with Rosa
90s,
Parks.
even. Back in the
Same with
90s,
Rosa
it was
Parks,
easier.
Bro. I was taught
no.
different about Rosa Parks, bro. You know, I just thought it was an old lady going to work on the bus route, and and she was just tired from work. That's what we got taught. She was just tired from work.
Check
She
this
didn't want
out.
to. Oh, you never. Oh,
Daniel
what's up?
Daniel just said, my deaf sign language teacher is a master violinist.
Oh, that's awesome. So she's off the vibrations like Beethoven. That's some
Yeah,
cool
like
shit.
Beethoven. Yeah, that's fucking cool,
Yeah.
man.
That's really cool.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. You were talking about Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. Yeah. Again, dude, Rosa Parks. This was all planned. This was orchestrated. So guess what I found out more after I told you those conspiracies? So apparently, now hear me out, Rosa Parks was chosen for an image. What happened that I was taught that Rosa Parks was tired from work, she refused to move. That got happened to a different woman. And then this woman was chastised, but she wasn't perfect for the image. So then the civil rights movement got Rosa Parks. She rode around on different buses for weeks until she ran into that situation and got arrested. And then that was they wanted
That's
to
right.
use Rosa Parks
People don't,
specifically.
because people don't ride buses for weeks, right? They just choose from time to time.
No,
to
different
ride a bus.
routes, buddy. It was different routes.
I
it wasn't like
know.
it wasn't.
I'm just fucking.
But it was
Like
all
Rosa Parks.
orchestrated. Now, don't get me wrong. We've agreed on this, Jordan. I get the overall message and what they did was important. I do
Yeah.
get it. It's just the idea that we're taught that Rosa Parks was an individual, but it wasn't. It was taken from an individual, and then she got put as the image for the civil rights movement.
That might be true. I don't know. Daniel, do you want to do some research
I do
on
remember.
Yeah, I remember hearing about someone actually doing what Rosa Parks did before Rosa Parks did it, and her not really getting the credit.
Yeah,
for that.
but here's the thing, and then that's exactly what happens. But the crazier part is that they heard about it, and then Rosa Parks said, "I'm gonna be the next one that happens to." Like, this was chosen by the civil rights movement. She took different bus routes, the same way those gay couple went to different bakers, and they found the one baker that wanted to make their cake. She found like the right bus route, the right bus driver that finally fucked with her. And it wasn't on a like a route to work that day, or a route after work. I mean, like a route after work. It was all orchestrated.
And by the way, Thanos, I just want to say, like, if you're ever trying to make a point and either me or Daniel is interrupting you, or you want to butt
Yeah,
in,
absolutely.
feel free to let me finish, right? And like push your way in there, okay? Like, we're not gonna get offended. You can try to talk over us to get your point in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just
He's just listening.
yeah, and I mean that's just I don't have that type of energy, but I get what you're saying.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also cool, like, when you want to say something like you're texting me, you can keep doing that as well. And I can do that for you. That's no problem. Daniel and I have been, well, we've been debating for years now, so I have no problem being like, hang on, Daniel, fucking hold your horses for a second, you know? Yeah, I was gonna say, Daniel in chat said, I mean, you had people in the 30s who sold radium as a cure-all elixir. That's true.
Yeah.
And he also said to Thanos, feel free to tell us our mother is a hamster and our father smelt of elderberries. which is a Monty Python reference and quite a good one.
Very
The other
Monty
thing
Python
the other thing I was gonna say earlier was shit. Like even in the '90s, you could fudge shit and make shit up. I remember that growing up, right? Like you remember
Didn't
like
Forensic Evidence come out in the 90s? Like, yeah, dude. It was
yeah,
just
but
a
also
different-
like
it was a different world before the 90s.
do you remember like playing Pokemon on the Game Boy and everybody thinking you could get to the truck like near the SS Anne to somehow get Mew, which was like completely made up. Like that was some shit that was back then.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and then there
Well, I
was
also
like
remember Marilyn Manson removing his rib so he could suck his own dick.
yeah,
That
which
was
is
pretty big.
completely made up. That was a totally made up thing.
I don't know. I kinda
Everybody,
still believe it.
everybody knew that. Everybody knew about that.
Everyone knew that one. The other one, which was super fucked up, was that Lady Gaga was actually a guy. God, dude, that was during the
Oh, I never
MySpace
heard
era.
that one. I was in
Oh,
Argentina.
that was huge. Oh, are you kidding me? There's interviews of her just like she fucking like, you know, she handled it super well. She would fucking make jokes about it back
Of course,
and
she
not care.
probably leaned right
She
into
is a
it.
pro.
That's her sense of humor.
Yeah, she was a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, she handled
That's
that great.
funny,
But
yeah.
that's a shitty thing to do to a woman, though. That's a really fucked up thing to do.
Oh, is it? Like people are fucking
Yeah.
doing all the time today now?
Well, you gotta blame the trans people for that.
I don't blame. I blame people who can't
They
like
made it
deal
hard
with it.
now, dude. They made it hard to trust.
Yeah, but
what's
let's
going on.
let's be honest, bro. Like for some reason now, like men are just these all of these like super red pill dudes are like unable to accept the fact that there are women who look sort of masculine now. Like
That's not true, bro. Republicanism is on a spectrum, buddy. Alright? And I'm I
I'm
I
not
don't believe
talking
in the
about
Republicans that
you,
call
dude.
Hold up, dude. Hold up, let me finish. I don't believe in the Republicans that say shit, and they do. I follow some pretty wild accounts that say Caitlin Clark is actually a man. I think that's fucked
that's
up, and those
awful.
people are wrong. And
yeah.
it's an awful, awful fucking
She's
thing
a
to
fucking
do. I
stud,
really,
dude.
that doesn't help the argument, Jordan. but
That's
all right.
true. That was probably the wrong word choice for that.
But dude, yeah, no, I've always been against that kind of fucking language, and I'm like, dude, don't. I'm not a believer that Michelle Obama is Mike Obama either. I've never believed that one.
You'd have to be pretty far off on that one. That's a pretty. Crazy
I've never
one.
believed that one. I think that's a pretty crazy
They
one.
literally
I
have
don't-
two kids
I don't
that
see-
look like them. That's like that's
Yeah,
not gonna be
and
it.
you know, with all the misinformation that truly is on the internet, dude, like, it's just wild, you know. No, I think shit like that's hurtful too. It's not cool to do it to a human being.
It is hurtful.
So, you know, yeah. So
we got a
ultimately,
lot of repairing to do. in
and
our country.
I'm more of a red pilled dude, Jordan. So I don't believe in that kind of shit. So you can't categorize all of them as that.
What? Well, like how? Like what are your quote
These-
unquote
you-
red pill beliefs?
Well, you know, you said that like all of them just see masculine women as no, dude. I believe in being a strong masculine, or not masculine women, but a strong like, you know, women can work out, women can be athletic, and we shouldn't be criticizing them in the sense that like, oh, you look like a dude, you know, like that's a shitty fucking thing. No,
I don't
that's an
think,
athlete
I
right
don't
there.
think you're
Or
very
that's
red
an
pilled.
individual.
That doesn't sound very red pilled to me.
That's
think
not what red pill is.
no, red pill is like the is really going for traditional like gender roles and shit like that. I think I
No,
don't think
no,
you're
no,
right.
no.
Fuckers.
No. I disagree, dude. I disagree.
Have you ever like
I,
watched
j-
like Fresh and Fit or Andrew Tate or any of those guys?
Yeah, but I don't like those guys. Aren't red pilled to me.
That
Those
is
guys are
red
pieces
pill.
of
That's
shit.
the red pill community, dog.
Nah.
You are not those guys. That is a different group of people.
Ugh, no,
like when we
because
say
I-
red pill, that's who we're talking about.
I think Joe Rogan's red pilled now. Like,
He's
if you're
not. He is super not a red
don't
pill
think
guy. No, no,
Alright,
no,
so
no,
I'm
no.
like Joe Rogan, and he knows.
Yeah,
it. I'm
no.
like
Joe
a lot
Rogan is
more-
totally not red pill at all.
He got red pilled now. He's
No,
red-pilled
no.
now.
Red pill doesn't mean you're like Republican leaning or whatever. Red pill's a super particular type of
Alright.
like way of approaching like relationship
Well,
dynamics.
That's
and shit.
like, if that's how you describe it, then no, dude. Most people aren't that. then.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's-
agree.
that's a
Most people
minority.
aren't that. It's like incels, like that type of people are going to be
Yeah,
red pill.
exactly.
Mhm.
Can I say
well,
something? This
look-
reminds me about some
Those
like
are both
dating
leftists,
stats
too.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let Thanos talk real quick. What's up,
My bad.
Thanos?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that, like, talking about this reminds me of some dating stats I've seen with, where they could talk about the most attractive hobbies, least attractive male hobbies to women, and all that. And the one that was rated
That's
the lowest.
propaganda, Thanos.
is
That's all
unsurprisingly
it is. That's propaganda, bro. Don't believe it, dude. You'll never get a girlfriend that way.
Dennis, go ahead and finish, buddy.
Yeah. I was just saying that the thing that was rated the most unattractive was
Listen to Joe Rogan.
was, like, Manosphere. At like
No,
3%.
Manosphere. Manosphere.
Not
Like the
that
red
Bro,
pill
I
dudes that
saw-
we're talking about.
Well, I saw the chart,
Yeah.
bro. It said listening to Joe Rogan. It said
Yeah,
listening to Joe
I
Rogan
think
was
that's kinda
high on the
dumb,
chart of a
'cause Joe
turn-off
Rogan-
for women.
look,
That's
I might
absolute
not be-
bullshit.
I might not be a big fan of Joe Rogan, but like realistically, he's not that bad. He can be kind of a goof sometimes, but like there's a lot.
He's a
worse
comedian.
than that.
He's literally a comedian, and it was started as a comedy
Mika.
podcast. So yes, he
Mika,
is
what
a
are you
goof.
doing? Come here.
He's 100% a goof. But no, I saw that exact thing that you're talking about, Thanos. It rated listening to Joe Rogan as one of the biggest turnoffs of women, and I'm gonna tell you that's for some of the most liberal women that are caught up in politics at this moment. That's a more recent thing because they correlate Joe Rogan with Trump supporters. So essentially, they're just thinking that you listen to Joe Rogan, you're a Trump supporter, but that's not true either. There's
I
plenty of
didn't see
people
that. That's what I read. I'll send you
Okay.
one.
Okay, show me the one you saw. I'll show you the one I saw.
Okay.
But I really want to. I mean, we moved on from it, and I'm cool to move on from it. I really want to go back to the 500-page report reported by the White House. One day we'll go back into that.
I want to. Yeah, let's do that for like a whole stream because obviously there's a
Okay.
lot we're gonna want to go through on that.
We should do that stream. When's your next stream, Jordan?
I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 Pacific.
I can't do Friday. Wednesday.
Okay.
Maybe we could talk about that. I'll live to study more on health insurance. I got fucking 3 scripts I have to break down this week alone. It's the craziest. I went from like having the slowest month ever in November, and it's been kind of slow. And I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? And then I got like 3 job opportunities like right away. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
I think
It was
Ksenia
very
and
nice. I was
Helena
very-
are on a
very
set
blessed.
tomorrow as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm like, Ksenia asked me to deliver like her or pick up her passport because she's going to Mexico.
Sick. I was supposed to go to Mexico with Q, but he's taking too long to get it approved and greenlit. Or India's taking too long. I was supposed to film in Mexico, and I was hoping to do that before the end of the year. I was hoping to do that maybe the start of January, but now I'm already starting a movie on January 5th.
Did
so
I-
It's like, no.
Bro, did I tell you I worked on the press junket for Skeleton Crew?
Oh yeah, you told me that. That's cool.
Yeah, that was dope. That was super dope.
Yeah, you've done some cool press junket jobs.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun. That's a really cool gig.
Hey, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna go to bed now. Take care, guys.
Always good talking
All right,
to you,
buddy.
buddy. We'll see you
Have a good
next
night.
time. Yeah, I think I want to get more of those, but it can be hard to get those, right? Because it depends on what's like coming out at any one time.
Yeah. So shit, man. What else happened in news today? So yeah, there's the CEO killer.
Syria.
There's all right. I would love to hear your opinion on this one.
Oh, boy.
Because nah, I'm serious. This one, I mean, I feel a real passionate type of way about this. I think it's fucking crazy, but thank God that Daniel Penny was not guilty, found not guilty today.
No,
but
fucking
The guy, the Marine that choked the crazy homeless person that violently attacks people all the time on the subway in New York. It was highly politicized, and it was constantly talked about
I
in
mean,
both
if-
leftist and Republican media.
I
AOC,
literally
and this
know
was
nothing about
one of the
it.
biggest. This was one of the biggest turnoffs from AOC for me, like the biggest. And
Bro,
she came out saying
don't
Daniel
pretend
Penny's
like
murder.
anything AOC does could really turn you off of her. She's gorgeous.
Bro, you gotta look at them AI photos, bro. Jesus.
No, don't talk about that on my
So-
stream.
So, they're big mommy milkers, as Andrew
Oh,
Schultz put it.
no.
The giant mommy. Yo, that's Cortana, my guy. every time I look at it, dude.
Oh, God.
Who said it? Who said it? Who's that one troll? Was it Nick Fuentes or something? That big Latina booty over here
Oh
in
my
Congress.
God, fucking Nick Fuentes, dude. Yeah,
Was that him or was it someone else? I mean,
I wouldn't
I
surprise
don't like
me
Nick
if that was
Fuentes
Nick
either.
Fuentes. That
Yeah,
sounds
I
like
think it
some
might
shit
be.
he would've said.
But nah, man. If
Jesus.
you look up Daniel Penalty, that was a huge thing for me, and so much of the liberal media pushed this idea.
Oh, that's right,
Black
bro.
Lives Matter.
Daniel just said Jaleel White is in Skeleton Crew. Fucking Urkel.
That's cool.
I haven't watched it yet, so because I've been like.
Oh,
busy
you
with
know
some
what?
other shit.
That makes perfect sense because I just recently saw him on the Breakfast Club, so he must be promoting that. Because I was like, why the
Definitely.
fuck is he in the news?
Yeah, why
like
the fuck
he's
is
so
Urkel?
irrelevant. Yeah, but now that makes sense. Oh,
Yeah.
so that's why he was on. I just thought he was just a random black dude on Breakfast Club. But and then he's like, coming back, trying to, make some statements. But no, he was promoting Skeleton Crew. Well, that makes perfect sense. He seems super cool. His Breakfast Club interview was super cool. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Urkel is a pretty real dude.
I mean, like.
He seemed really
most
down to
of these
earth.
people are, right?
No. I'm sorry, but I work a lot with Hollywood individuals,
So do
and
I, bro.
it seems like less than half is in touch with reality.
Really? I
But,
feel like
I wanna say-
whenever
I wanna say a
work on
mass
these
majority.
junkets, most of them are pretty cool.
No, they're all nice, but not. I don't know, man. I work closer to them because you're working on junkets, bro. I work as an AD, so I know all these fucking talent. Like, there's just so many actors.
No, I
and
work
actresses
in like the same
are-
room with these people for like a couple days.
I know. I have to make phone calls with them every night. I'm seeing them first thing in the morning, last of the day. Every one of their complaints is addressed to me that I have to talk with producers because the AD world's just different. But it seems, and then
Who's the
almost
worst
everyone
one?
in Hollywood.
Who's the worst one?
Rob Lowe's. Rob Lowe's the biggest piece of shit in the entire
Oh,
fucking
I
world,
actually
bro. It's
worked
crazy,
on
dude.
I worked on fucking 911 Lone Star. And
Lone Star. I worked on my own Lone Star. Rob
Yeah.
Lowe's a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah,
He's a
dude,
total
he's
scumbag.
Fucking dickbag. Like if you stare at
this-
him in the eyes, you could end up getting fired.
Yes,
It's fucking
fired.
crazy.
Yes, it's a rule. I fucking hate Rob Lowe,
Yeah,
dude.
dude,
I
what a piece of
witnessed some
shit.
insane shit. I witnessed insane shit. Yeah, that guy is the worst. I wish he would be fucking outed. But there's plenty of people like him. And I hear shit all the time. I mean, aside from that, it's not even just if they're nice or not. There also is just a hard leftist view. And it's tough because, I do look at Republicans as the blue-collar workers. I do look as leftists as the more creative individuals. That's usually how the dynamic is always going.
Well, that also
So I
depends
understand
on
why
what
so
part
many
of the
entertainers
country.
and artists.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like, if
and
you're
so
in
that's why I see so many
Minnesota-
artists and entertainers.
If
as
you're in
super
Minnesota,
lefty.
you're gonna see a lot of left-wing blue-collar people.
Of course.
Yeah.
And yeah. But here's the thing. I just,
Michigan, too,
so
even though
many
we lost it.
so many actors and actresses I've seen where I've just bit my tongue are just comfortable saying on set in front of 20, 30 people, like, oh my God, fucking Trump, da 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 da, oh, this right here, da da da. Like, they're very comfortable talking about their political views.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in Hollywood also who are terrified about talking about their political views because it goes against that. And they're just so
Yeah.
worried about their job being
I
in jeopardy.
know.
It's such a
I
shitty
like-
thing in this
I
industry.
experienced that a
Shitty
lot.
fucking thing in this
I
industry.
experienced that a lot. When
Well,
it came
now
to
with the
Israel.
Jewish shit, yeah, of course. With the
exactly.
Israel shit,
Yeah.
it became relevant now in your life, but it's been relevant in my life way before that.
But you knew that I
You
was
know?
aware of that for you guys. You knew that I knew.
Yeah,
that.
I know, but you're not. You're a rare individual. Not what most of these people are like.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah,
Everyone just kind of
Um,
assumes that, like, oh, you're in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, you're gonna believe everything that I believe, and I can talk shit without worrying about what you think.
right. And that's the culture here, and it's
Yeah.
so shitty because I know tons of people that just don't feel like that at all, and they're like, I don't want to say anything. But I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, what were we talking right before this? I was saying something else that had a point.
Let's see. You talked about Rob Lowe,
Yeah, Hollywood culture.
celebrities being fucking pieces of shit.
Oh! You. There's something about like the majority, the way it swings. I feel like more people are like far leftist. I don't know why we even got on this topic, but it's something about the majority of how like Hollywood actors and actresses are. Anyway, As far as like a Republican sphere, obviously Hollywood is dominated by liberal media, liberal viewpoints. I mean, I think there's going to be a swing in Hollywood as well, by the way, because I truly don't think Hollywood's dominated by liberal viewpoints. I think it's dominated by the money machine. So as soon as and that's why, I'm a big fan of what Elon did with Twitter. I'm a big fan of what's about to happen is, we've had a very hard leftist swing over these last 4 years. It's going to be a hard right swing. And it's going to, I think, still balance shit out overall. So,
Well-
hopefully we go back to the anti-cancel culture world and we start, creating movies and
I've
creating
been-
content
So
that
we've
swings
been
to the right.
swinging. We've been swinging back and forth.
Look at the movie. Look at the movie Sound of Freedom and the success Sound of Freedom had. It was completely fucking snubbed by the
Let me get
Oscars.
this out really quick.
But it was a phenomenal movie.
Let me get this out real quick. I think this Joe Biden presidency, liberals weren't as crazy about cancel culture as they were like under Trump or under Obama. It got a little better. And so I think we're going to see the same swing on the right. It won't be as severe as it was before because we are sort of swinging slower and slower with the pendulum, and we're about to settle somewhere in the middle.
Look at how Hollywood treated the movies like The Covenant by Guy Ritchie and Sound of Freedom. Dude, those are two Republican-leaning movies, and I'm not even kidding. I'm not even saying this because you know me, bro. Like, I'm a fucking huge fan of just art in general.
Yeah, sure.
But those are literally two of my favorite movies of 2023. They are phenomenally well done. The Covenant was amazing, starring Jake
I
Gyllenhaal.
actually haven't seen either.
Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom is such a good movie. It's heartbreaking. It's hard to watch, but like it was incredibly well done. And they were just both completely snubbed from any award shows all across the sphere. And you're like, yeah, of course. Like, didn't even question that they wouldn't fucking promote that kind of shit at all. The Covenant, The Sound of Freedom, largely talks about the sex trafficking that goes on along the Mexican border and what's going on, in the whole world.
Sure.
And then The Covenant is dude, I can't believe you haven't seen The Covenant, because The Covenant largely is about the Afghani refugee crisis.
Oh,
and
shit.
It talks about, but what
what my
happened
mom
to
is
it,
doing.
but really, exactly, but like it largely covers a man, and this is based on a true story. I mean, it's just insane. The Covenant's based on a true story of a guy who fought off a bunch of, he was doing a mission. He used a translator, one of the Afghani refugees who are the translators and the people who would map out where, like, not Al-Qaeda, but the other terrorist organization over in Afghanistan is, it wasn't
Taliban?
ISIS either. Who is it? Is it the Taliban? I think it's the Taliban. Yeah, the Taliban. So he would help map out where the Taliban is. And, he worked with our military. There's about 40,000 different individuals who worked with our military. And we promised them, the ability to come here in our country for helping our military
So-
fight the Taliban in Afghanistan. And so, here, real quick, it's Jake Gyllenhaal, but the story is, like, all his people got killed. The translator carried his body for days, carried him to safety, saved his life, and then they brought him back to America, and the translator was left back in Afghanistan, and then
Yeah.
he was known. He was known by the Taliban as a traitor, so all the Taliban put a hit out on his head. The guy was here in America freaking the fuck out. He's like, that guy has a wife and a kid. I need to go get him. He saved my life. I want to be here. So he goes back out there on a singular mission, and he fucking rescued the translator. It's based on a true story.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. I'll talk to my mom about it too.
It's very Hollywood. Don't get me wrong. The shooting scenes, I was told, like, all that shit got very exaggerated. But they got to make it look cool. It's still a Hollywood movie,
I bet
you
my
know?
mom knows a lot about that story, so I'll talk to her about it
Yeah.
as well. Daniel
Cool.
in chat just said, but that's the thing, if you swing from one end of the pendulum to another, instead of saying, okay, that was bad what someone did to us, but let's balance things and stop the cycle, both the left and the right say, okay, they did that to us now, let's screw them over now that we have power. Until that stops, nothing
Right.
will change. One side screws the other over when they have power seeking revenge instead of justice, then they go too far and the other side gains power and does the same thing. And I agree with that 100%. I think
Okay.
he's right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah.
At some point, one side needs to step up and say, okay, enough of this shit. We need to normalize things. But I think each swing we're getting closer and closer to that. I do think that. Like, cancel culture as it was at its height is not really the same anymore, right? Like, it's not the same as it used to be. And even you gotta admit that.
What, cancel culture?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
again, dude,
anywhere near the
I
same.
largely believe that that's due to the fact that so many people realize cancel culture got taken too far.
Yeah,
and
but
the
like that
majority
wasn't
just like
just
those- the
that
popular
wasn't just
vote.
the right wing. That
Popular
was the
vote.
left wing too.
Pendulum.
Like we all agreed that it went too far.
I don't know, man. It
Because you
still
don't
seems
see
like the
far
left wing is
leftists.
pretty.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, I spend a lot of time listening to what far lefties say. You don't really see them saying things like, we need to deplatform this person that much anymore. That's not something they really say
Yeah.
that much now.
You know, but Kamala literally ran on a campaign talking about we need to regulate podcasts. She said those words exactly, and so it's like, no, she was
Did
to me
she
a symbol of far
Did
left.
she say, like, go into any detail about what she actually meant by that?
Yeah, essentially just government regulation over the misinformation that
that's not-
spreads to these massive
That's not,
people,
like,
da,
very
da, da,
specific,
da.
right? Like, that
It's
could
not, dude,
encompass
but
a
it's
lot
still a
of things.
threat. It's still a threat. It's still
Maybe.
like, I don't trust you making a threat like that. I don't trust that person in power who's going to make any kind of threats like that. I don't trust what you consider the right information as opposed to, you know, what other
Yeah,
people
but
might be
here's
suggesting.
the problem is, like, neither side agrees on what the right information is right now. So how do we determine what is and isn't the right information?
Dude, that's the thing, Jordan. We don't just get to say.
Well,
You gotta let people have free will. That's
yeah,
what America's
you can have
built
free
on.
will, but like we've talked about objective truth as well, right? You and I have both talked about that, and objective truth does exist.
The only objective truth is math, not science.
Well, that depends on what you're talking about.
I guess, dude. But yeah, you know,
I mean, science is
Feel
often based on
strongly.
probabilities, right?
science is
Which
based
is
on
math.
theories, and the ultimate scientific method is
hang on,
you keep
hang
testing
on.
something, keep testing something until you know your theory can't be proven wrong.
Well,
and so
a
then that
theory
becomes the
in
new
the
scientific
scientific
theory.
sense, a theory in the scientific sense is as close as you can come to a fact. A theory is like the body of work surrounding a particular scientific fact. So, like, let me give you an example. Evolution, the fact that evolution happens, is a scientific law. It's a fact. The theory of evolution is the body of work, that the different pieces of scientific evidence, all of the different bits of information that we use to describe the fact of evolution, right? So when we're talking about a theory in science, that's about as high as you can get, right? Gravity is technically a theory, right? But I challenge anybody to go test that theory, right?
That was my point. That was my point. The scientific method. The idea of a theory is you keep trying to prove your theory wrong. After enough examples show your theory can't be proven wrong, that's what people consider a fact. But it's
No,
not
that's what we
necessarily-
consider a theory. A fact is the underlying scientific, I hate to use the same word to describe it, fact that a theory is based on, right? So, the fact
Nope,
that
you
the
can't.
Big
You can't
Bang-
describe a word using a word, so you already failed. But,
Okay,
go
all
ahead.
right, calm down.
Hey, that's true. You know that. You know that's a rule.
The fact that the Big Bang happened is established. We know this as a
Man,
fact.
I don't believe in the Big Bang. I actually don't believe in the Big Bang. That's a
Okay,
funny
but
one.
we've actually confirmed it now, like via experimentation.
Oh, we haven't?
Yeah, we very much have. And I can show you the scientific evidence that led us there. But specifically, gravitational waves were the big marker of the Big Bang definitely happened. Then we have the Big Bang theory, which is the body of evidence, information, data that we study around the fact of the Big Bang. It's the same way we look at gravity. Gravity is a fact, right? We know that gravity is a law. but the theory of gravity is the body of evidence and information surrounding the law of gravity.
Or the theory of black holes.
We
There's
would
a few.
probably talk about it in more. We would say the words black hole theory.
One black hole theory. There's multiple beliefs behind the black hole. People believe that black hole can possibly, be a teleportation device.
Probably.
Splitting what we know. Most
That's a
likely not.
probably,
A lot of
yeah.
people believe that it's
Yeah,
actually
I mean,
just
well,
an
that's the
absolute
thing.
destruction
The
center.
theory is to figure out all of those things about it, right? The theory,
Or hear me out.
the
Or
theory
hear
can
me
be
out.
made
Maybe
of
the reason
different
the entire galaxy looks like a fucking iris around a black hole, and maybe the reason why our galaxies look like eyes, because really it's just God watching us.
that's gonna be a big no from me, dog. But
Yeah, for now. But isn't it crazy how I saw this really incredible thing in the Bible. Let me see if I can look it up. God, dude, it's gonna drive me crazy. There's two different galaxies or like solar systems. There's two different solar systems that are described in the Bible. And in the Bible it said only God dude, if I'll pull up the exact thing.
I would,
Let me- how about this?
as your friend,
let me
as
give-
your
let me give
friend,
you an opportunity to discuss
if
the
you
rough
don't want
description.
your whole religious view to be blown into smithereens, I would not bring up
Hold on,
religious
hold
things
on,
with me.
Hear me out. Let me describe just a rough description without like the exact name of each solar system. But let me
I'm
explain to
telling
you.
you, buddy, you don't
And-
want to open this can of
Dude,
worms
just
with
give
me.
me a second. Give me a
All
second.
right.
Just let me finish my 5 sentences.
Go for it.
In the Bible, it describes one solar system as its stars like separating from its sun, being pulled from its sun, and this other solar system as all tightening. Now, over recent discoveries, it shows with our studies of those stars or those planets that in that one solar system, the sun has a more gravitational pull, and the planets have been going closer towards the sun, while the other one has a loss of pull, and so that's why the planets have been separating from the gravitational force. It's funny that in science they just proved what was a small description in the Bible.
Actually not exactly sure what you said just there.
There's 2 solar systems.
I'm gonna
One
need
is
some more
losing its
specifics than
gravitational
that.
pull. All right, fine. I'll Google it. God damn it.
Because you're talking to somebody who spent a huge portion of my life studying astrophysics.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna need to be pretty specific to impress me. Because, like, I want to let you know, Islam does a lot of the same sort of thing. They try to do the same sort of reasoning here. I'm, as your friend, who's somebody who wants to let you live happily in your beliefs, I implore you, don't go down this road with me.
Yeah, you can't shake my beliefs, Jordan. Pretty positive.
Well, I
No,
could
that's
shake
fine.
him about this thing, probably. That's what I could do. And I don't
About
wanna do
what?
that
What
to
I'm
you.
speaking on what right now?
Yeah.
No, I was just telling you something that was really cool. Let me figure out where. God damn it. Because it's deep in my Twitter, and I try to look it up in my Twitter, and I realize
Well, here, if you find it,
retweet
send it to me.
50,000
We'll
things
do
a
it.
day.
We'll do it on the next stream as well. But like, yeah, you know, I'm just letting you know. You probably don't want to bring up the astrophysics things with me, because like I
No,
know
it's
a
something
lot
that
about
was-
this shit, and I've also spent a lot of time in like the atheism-theism debate scene, and like my arguments are really well refined.
Mm-hmm.
Just as your friend,
It's
I don't
not-
want
it's
to.
not
I don't
much-
want to
it's
burst
not
any
much- it's not-
bubbles. I don't like to do
You're not
that
gonna
to
burst
my
a bubble, buddy.
friends.
Did you not hear what I said? You said you
What?
didn't understand what I said, so you keep talking about bursting bubbles. I'm saying that in a one solar system, it shows the sun is losing its gravitational pull, so the planets have been separating.
So you're
while
going
the
to
other
see
solar
that in
system-
millions of solar systems. You're also going to see things that
Right.
don't
But the Bible names the ones specifically. Names them specifically, and then it's been proven by scientists over recent years
You
that
know,
that's what's happening.
most solar systems have names that are a combination of letters and numbers, right?
I'll find it, dude. I'll find it. I'll find it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't trip.
Okay. And then what I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna show you where Islam tries to do the same
Oh,
thing, so I
hold
can
on.
watch you say you don't believe it. Because I don't believe it when they
Islam-
say it either.
Islam's just a fucking extension of the Torah and the Bible.
Well, it's a different branch, actually.
It's an extension as well. It's rewritten, but it takes a lot of the exact same words.
Well, yeah,
It's
Christianity does that
Yeah.
with the Torah.
that's my point.
Mhm.
That's why I named them both in order.
That's why they're Judeo.
you know what my theory. You know what my theory of the Quran is, right?
Go for it.
That so you respect the fact that the Prophet Muhammad. You know Muhammad is a like a relative of Jesus, right?
I mean,
There's
you're
like a
asking
family
the
tree
wrong
that goes.
guy on that one.
Do you believe in
don't-
Jesus?
I question. I think there are questions that a historical Jesus even existed.
I know, but it's like these same people. There's so many people that confirm the existence of Jesus, and it's like if we
None of
are
them
gonna
that
live, if
actually
we're
lived
gonna
at
live,
the same time.
right,
It was always people like 40 to several hundred years afterwards. So not so sure. About
look, man. And I don't know if Socrates existed either, right? If we're just
yeah,
being
but
told.
there were people who lived at the time of Socrates who met him. and
There's
wrote
people
about
that lived at the time of Jesus that literally shake the entire world. We live in the entire year of after Jesus.
Yeah, but I
And
haven't-
it
I
just
haven't
shaked everything
seen
that
any,
happened
like-
in Israel in general.
I haven't seen any historical accounts from historians living.
I'm
at the
pretty
time.
positive. Dude, you want to play this game? I don't even think Jews built the pyramids. I think it was just a bunch of Africans,
Jews
and
did
then
not
Jews
build the
took their story. Jews took their story. It was just a bunch of black people that
Bro.
built the pyramids,
Bro.
and Jews said, "We're gonna take that credit."
Bro, Jews did not build the pyramids. I'm
Who built them then?
100% Fucking Egyptians. What do you mean?
What about the 400 years of slavery that happened in Egypt? Do you believe that
It didn't
existed?
happen.
You don't believe the slavery in Egypt existed?
Not like the widespread Jewish slavery that's talked about in the Torah. Probably not. No.
You don't believe any slavery existed in Egypt with Jewish people? You don't believe Jewish people have ever been
I'm
slaves
sure
ever?
there were some. But like the way it's described.
You're kind of a
in the
conspiracy
Torah,
theorist
probably
yourself, then. I like
not.
it.
No, it's
I
just
like it.
it's just the archaeological.
That's
evidence
more
doesn't really
historical.
support it.
Are you sure? I'm pretty positive.
Everything
there
I've
is.
seen shows that the archaeological evidence probably doesn't support it.
Are you researching things that just confirm your bias, or are you researching things that also
How would
prove
that
it to
confirm
be
my
right?
bias? I spent like the first, I don't even know how many years of my life thinking that Jews were slaves in Egypt.
Yeah, but then you found a new identity, and then you started reading all the things that would confirm it wrong.
My view
Doesn't-
on Jews being slaves in Egypt didn't change until like a few years ago.
Interesting. Same with my view on us landing on the moon.
Because I just wasn't aware of it. Wrong. Daniel says, wrong. Watch Stargate SG-1. You'll see who built the pyramids. I just started watching Stargate, Daniel. I've actually been watching it in the server with Leo. You should come and join us sometimes, buddy. It's fun. And I said the same thing. I watched Stargate and I said, this must be fucking catnip for conspiracy theorists.
Back to that. All right, before we got into conspiracy theories, which is my favorite thing to talk about, let's just talk about something real that I think you would kind of agree on. The Daniel Penny stuff. Do you know what happened with the Daniel Penny?
No,
'Cause as soon as I mentioned
I
AOC
saw a headline or two, but I have no idea what the story is with that.
Man, it was a brutal case, dude. There's a homeless person on a subway who has 45 assault charges. He's been re-released over and over and over again in the New York system. You have a New York liberal mayor, Eric Adams.
Yeah.
He is going on record saying, you know what? Because Eric Adams has had a change of heart. He's not Republican, but he is like, dude, we have like completely screwed over the citizens in New York by allowing these mass amount of illegal immigrants to flood the city and not taking care of these violent people who are constantly being released in the city. He said what happened to Daniel Penny is an injustice, which he is one of the only liberals to say that. So I'm like, oh, okay, if there was more Eric Adams on your side, you would have a lot more common sense liberals. And I'm kind of proud of Eric Adams for just saying what's common sense, but there's a shit ton of people on the
Wait,
left
didn't he also
that are calling this.
Isn't he about to like go to jail?
Yeah, and that might be the case. Maybe he's, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's trying to get sympathy from the New York voters, from the New York people, because he's understanding like there's changing heart and what's going on.
He could be totally right about that. I'm not even talking about that, but I'm pretty sure he just got exposed for like major corruption.
Yeah, I'm certain that I heard the same story. Yeah. He said he's fighting it though. He said it's all bullshit. He's going to be taking it to court.
We'll see then. We'll see. Innocent until proven guilty.
Innocent until proven guilty, and that's our. Yeah, but anyways, so Daniel Penny, man, there's a guy, he started attacking women, so he was screaming, this is reported by witnesses, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. So Daniel Penny threw him in a headlock. Now here's the craziest part. What was reported in the news is that Daniel Penny threw him in a headlock and killed him by squeezing him too tight and not letting go when he should have. There's pictures of other people holding him with Daniel Penny. Like, this is a guy going absolutely psycho. He has 45 previous charges, right? It's insane that he's even in the fucking streets. Like, it's mind-blowing to me. But here's like what got revealed in the court cases. Now the liberal media is still running with the idea that we just let a murderer free. Like, they're treating Daniel Penny like he's George Zimmerman, and it's disgusting, dude. It's a disgusting like way of treating the situation. But what they found out in the court documents, and this is why he was, acquitted, not guilty, because there was like a hard disagreements within the judges, or not the jury, I mean. Dude, he put him in a headlock, got up. Apparently, Jordan Neely is the guy he killed. And Jordan Neely was still technically alive when police arrived on scene, but the police didn't want to resuscitate him because he was so dirty and disgusting. They were in fear of catching a disease or getting AIDS or anything. And the police said that they did not resuscitate him. Well, not AIDS, my bad. They were scared of like herpes or diseases. Like, he had sores on his face and shit. Yeah. He wasn't brushing his teeth. He was a disgusting homeless man. And so while he was still considered breathing and alive, he died while they didn't resuscitate him. Like, he was on like edge. He was on the edge of death. But then this man gets tried for murder. This man gets tried for murder for defending people that he was attacking on the subway. And he's been in jail. He was not allowed bail. So the reason why this was such a insane black and white case is because the same prosecutor, Daphne Yardin or whatever her name was, dude, she had a similar case of a black man stabbing a homeless person, and he got a low bail, and then eventually his charges got dropped. Daniel Penny was held in prison or jail the entire time with no bail allowed. So that prosecutor said no bail for his case. Like, GoFundMe's were up like crazy saying, yo, free Daniel Penny, we'll pay for his bail. But she would not let him out. It was such a fucking bullshit politicized case, dude. And then this,
go ahead.
You're good. But it was just an insane fucking thing to put this man through. He was a Marine. He's not from New York. He's living in New York. People are being attacked in front of him. This man has been trained to defend citizens. He did that. The person that died, no individual deserves to die, but at the end of the day, as Eric Adams came out and said, this city failed the people on the subway and Daniel Penny, because that person should have never been in the subway to begin with. He should have been arrested and in jail from a long time ago. He's a repeat offender. It's a complete failure of just like a properly enforcing laws. It's just a complete failure in the system. And by the way, these are the same prosecutors that are funded by George Soros. Daphne, there's just so many individuals that aren't enforcing laws and allowing criminals, because of their economic status, to just keep repeating crimes. They get out on no cash bail systems, and it's all in this form. It's all in this disguise of like, oh, this is equity. This is equity, because the rich man gets in trouble, he can buy his way out, but the poor man gets in trouble and he's stuck. So that's what it was disguised at. But at the end of the day, there's just so much more crime that's been increased due to enforcing these types of bullshit fucking policies. So Daniel Penny became victim to a bunch of politicized bullshit. Thank God he was found not guilty this morning.
Okay.
Look,
All right. I mean, if the justice system found him not guilty, I'm sure he's not guilty.
Found him not guilty, dude, but the guy went through hell just to get there. It was crazy. It was a crazy thing. And he's still being blasphemized in liberal media sources as a murderer and not a defender of multiple people on that subway.
Yeah,
but it's
I mean,
alright.
my position usually on things like this is like, often I see justified self-defense, but also
it was
like,
justified self-defense. Dude.
Yes, but also at the same time, like, there are probably ways to avoid having somebody die, even though it was justified self-defense. That doesn't mean you should be sent to jail, right? But I do wish there was, like, better work on finding ways to subdue people who need to be subdued without killing them and then putting them in jail instead, right? Because we don't like to set up situations where people
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Because I'm Florida born and raised. At the end of the day, I'm serious, dude. At the end of the day, like, we do think differently. So let me tell you, like, people see shit differently in Florida. You're raised that if you swim in the lakes after 6 o'clock, you could get eaten by a gator, right?
Sure.
You're raised that if you run around in tall grass or in bushes without socks and shoes on, you'll get bit by a snake. Right? You'll die. Like, there's so many venomous snakes in Florida. Don't run around in tall grass, barefoot. You got to make sure it's a cut grass field. Like, these are instilled in us. If you break into a house, you can get shot and killed.
Sure.
Those are the rules. There's a lot of people on the liberal left.
I agree that, like, people have the right to defend themselves. There is justified self-defense. I'm not disagreeing on that whatsoever. What I am saying is that it's always better to
Jordan
avoid...
Neely, not only should the only way to avoid Jordan Neely from attacking people would have been having him in prison. Otherwise, that motherfucker probably should have been killed before this.
That's what I'm saying. I wish
it's bullshit he was even alive to begin with. His bullshit he was on that subway that day to begin with.
My wish is that he would have been in prison rather than dead. That's all I'm saying.
Right, and sometimes my wish is to put a rabid dog down and just pray to God and have mercy on him. Because the rabid dog is causing too many problems. Yeah, I know. I mean, what do you feel about child molestation?
Rabies is one thing.
I think they're rabies. I think child molesters are filled with rabies, and they need to be put down, every one of them.
Even so,
I think
like,
in the extreme cases of actual child rapists, I believe they deserve the death penalty.
But was anything that this guy did, like, punishable by the death penalty?
No, but the fact that he assaulted over a dozen women, like,
he should have been in prison.
I'll kill you.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but then he did it again, and he got apprehended, and he was still alive. Jordan put him in a headlock.
Daniel just said, if you break into a house, you get shot and killed. Those are the rules. Does this Florida doctrine also apply to Ashley Babbitt?
The what? What does it say?
He said, if you break into a house, you get shot and killed. Those are the rules. Does this doctrine also apply to Ashley Babbitt?
To Ashley Data? To what?
Ashley Babbitt.
Ashley Babbitt. Oh, yeah, dude. Ashley Babbitt got shot and killed. I was never, like, a huge, I can't believe you killed Ashley Babbitt. I was like, what are y'all doing over there anyway?
Well, there you go, Daniel. Consistent fucking answer. I like it. Daniel, he just told you, bro. He fucking told you, bro.
I was not like, I was like, hey man, you kind of like, you gotta
give him props in chat, bro. Give him an 07 in chat for being consistent. Please give him an 07 in chat.
Because look, the Florida shit, like, I love Florida, but I even know kids that are a little too loose with their guns, and it led to one friend of mine. This is a true story, Jordan. Led to one friend of mine, Brandon Pakiki. Knew that kid since high school. I did fucking Xanax with that kid. We partied. Well, one day he was getting in an argument with his girlfriends, right? Getting in a fucking argument with his girlfriend. I don't know. He may have been a little too aggressive with her. A stranger at the bar who doesn't know him or his girlfriend comes out with his shotgun, points it at him, and shot him. And Brandon Beakey lost his leg. Yeah, he lost his leg. He lived. Thank God. That guy got like fucking 8 or 10 years in prison. But it was like, yo, what the fuck, man? Sometimes, like, I get it. I know Florida's a little too crazy sometimes with the guns. But I had another buddy. He had a crazy ass gun incident too. Like, I know too many of those. But the castle doctrine, I believe in, and government buildings, I believe in. You can't rush the fucking police at a police station and not expect to get shot. I believe in that. I believe you can't break into my fucking house or anybody's property, have a threatening manner, and you get shot. Now, one of my favorite laws, this is all 50 states. It goes across all 50 states. The only people it does not apply to is police officers, which is one of the worst things ever. But you cannot legally shoot anyone in the back, even on your property. The idea that you shot someone in the back means they are running away. That means they were not a threat. So if the investigators come to your property, you shot a man to death, if he was shot in the back, you will still go to jail for that. So you can't do that.
Daniel
But
says,
if he breaks into your property,
I definitely appreciate the consistency on that. Not many people feel the same way, so I appreciate the fairness there.
I know.
So, Daniel,
That's cool.
I'm
Thank
still
you.
waiting for those 07s, bro. Give the man his due salutes, please.
He just did.
No,
Fine.
like actually typing 07
That
in
doesn't
chat,
matter.
because that's.
Oh,
a
I don't
salute.
know what that means.
Yeah, it's a salute.
Oh, okay.
It's a little
That's
guy
cool.
saluting. In letter
Oh,
lowercase O and a 7.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That's cool. But that's cool. Yeah, I mean, no, dude. I
There
looked
it is.
at
You
that
got
whole
your
January
salute in
6th case.
chat.
Thank you. I looked at the whole January 6th case the same way I looked at Kyle Rittenhouse. I believe Kyle Rittenhouse had a right to defend himself.
So
I believe that Ashley Babbitt did some fucking crazy shit and she got shot. And like, I was surprised more people didn't get shot. Like,
Yeah.
I really was.
That shows
Like-
a level of restraint, I think. On the,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on
Yeah.
the government side,
Yeah.
they knew not to take it too far. But yeah, I mean, shit, dude.
Well, because once she got shot, everybody was like, "Okay, I guess we probably shouldn't fucking go through this window."
Yeah. Damn straight. But yeah, man, I saw the one fucking. I see. The other thing is, I don't believe in bastardizing all cops. So I saw the one video from
Neither
January 6th.
do
Now,
I, bro. Neither do
a lot of January 6th, like, you know,
ACAB was retarded.
I get real conspiratorial about that day, so I won't go too into it. But the one thing I will
Yeah,
do
we don't need to
is-
go down that road.
I don't even want to do it. I don't have the energy for it right now.
We'll be
But,
be here forever.
Because I believe in COINTELPRO. I know that that's a
I know.
fucking actual program. All right, but anyway. So, but the video of the cop, like when they were fucking crushing the cop, in my mind, that fucking cop is just there to do a fucking job. And he wants to go home with
Absolutely.
his family. How
Absolutely.
dare you guys, as
Yeah.
Republicans as well, fucking do that to that man? Like, that shit was like, that was one of the ones that just pissed me the fuck off.
Like,
Your
you
first
expect that
action
kind of
should be
shit
like,
out of a
save that
tanky.
guy. Your first action should be save that guy, not fuck like that. It
Yeah.
drove me crazy. Trust
Yeah,
me, that one
that
drove
was
me crazy.
I was
Yeah,
not
and so
a
then
fan
yeah,
of
people
that.
someone got shot after fucking the chaos that was going on. Like, yeah, dude. Sorry, and she was a fucking veteran too. You know, it's a damn
Yeah,
shame.
it's sad, but
It's a real
like,
damn shame. Yeah.
She got warned a lot. Daniel says people hate the police until someone breaks into their house or car or their
Yeah.
ex goes psycho.
Always.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, dude, people hate the police. One of the funniest things, and I'm not saying this to be racist, but like, I am on Twitter. I do see a lot of Republican shit, and there's like always the fucking video of like, black people are usually the largest anti, cop movement. It's
Sure.
just, I'm not saying they all are. I'm not trying to generalize. My best friend is Q, like
Fucking
literally my brother.
racist.
My best friend is Q. You notice.
Of course, dude. Of
And
course.
like you ain't.
Wait a
he's
minute. Are
veteran,
you
he ain't
saying you have
anti-cop at
black
all.
friends? You can't
But-
say that nowadays.
No,
bro.
no, Jordan. I'm saying I only have one black friend. Okay, don't try to. No, there's Dante too.
There is Dante too. Fucking both of
those are two of my
guys
brothers.
Are
Those are literally
homies,
yeah. But they the majority of black people are very anti-cop, and then there's videos I've seen constantly on Twitter that'll always crack me up, and it's just a black person going, "Why didn't you get here sooner?" Like some crazy shit's going down. Why aren't you doing nothing?
Yeah.
You know, and the cops
Yeah.
like, are you kidding? Do you know what kind of fucking chastisement I get if I
Yeah,
do
it's
too much
true.
in this situation?
It's unfortunate.
Like,
the
Yeah.
whole view of our country about the cops is like all kinds of fucked up.
well,
From
it
so
sucks
many-
because at the end of the day, I look at cops as like the way I look at lawyers. Like I look at cops like the way I look at your fucking
They're trying to
construction
do a
worker
job.
or your teacher. No, John. There's you're trying to do a job, not just. But like, not everybody is good. They're just people. So there are some
Exactly.
fucking shitty human beings
What I
who are
always
cops.
say, bro.
And there's good human beings who are cops. There's shitty fucking people that work as your fucking kitchen manager over at Olive Garden that do some scumbag shit,
Those
dude, that you can't believe.
fucking Olive
the-
Garden
The problem
cucks.
is, yo, but the
Unbelievable.
problem is nobody cares about the fucking corruption that goes on in the restaurant industry. They look at it, you know, it's because of the power dynamics that exist within being a cop that like it just gets so much more attention. They try to paint the whole picture as the entire
I mean,
system's broken
I
and all
agree.
these people are evil.
I think you also
know?
agree addressing that power dynamic can be important, but also
Very important. The power
um,
dynamic.
you know, people rely on that to make oftentimes not very good arguments.
Yeah, I mean they make the worst arguments. Also, I just believe in to be honest, bro. This is where I go back to being Republican. I believe one of the biggest faults in the entire system as far as cops go within the union. I guess the union. If we were to address the fact that the union protects the scumbags, you know, because they protect all cops. But there's certain individuals that are far worse. Like when you look at Derek Cruz, you gotta understand, my best friend had 2 cop parents. I remember when that shit went down, I was in Florida at the time. I talked to his parents. They're both retired police officers. And his stepdad was special forces as well. And when they talk about Derek Cruz, who killed George Floyd, now I got very mixed views about all of it, but at the end of the day, I believe Derek Cruz killed George Floyd. I just believe that. But at the end, like, do I believe George Floyd was a good guy? Should be martyred? Fuck no.
No, of course not.
Not even remotely.
Still
But
shouldn't have died.
when
for
you
it,
look
though.
at Derek Cruz's record, dude, his parents were like, that's fucking insane to me. That man shot 12 people. Or he like, it's fucking crazy. Or no. He didn't shoot, like, he had 12, my bad. He shot like 3 people and he had 12 police brutality cases against him. My friend's parents said, I've never even fucking heard of that. What the fuck is going on in Minnesota? His mom had 1 and she thought it was like the end of the world when she had a police brutality case against her. But she was bullshit and they fought it in court. And, you know, the dad had 2. And he was like, yeah, but, you know, it was like, you know, those are people just arguing, trying to pull a lawsuit, and it had no stance. Derek Cruz had 12 and several of them had, like, weight on it. And he shot 3 people before he even killed George Floyd.
Yeah, there might be something.
So it
up
was just
there.
like, there might be something wrong with this guy,
Yeah.
you know? And then he had significantly less years than both of my friend's parents. Like, both of my friend's parents were retired at this point. They fucking were cops for over 20 years, both of them, you know? And it was just like, how does Derek Cruz have this many complaints, this many brutality complaints, on top of shooting multiple people, and then the other person he killed didn't look like he really deserved it either? Like, when you look at his case, you go, I mean, thankfully he's in jail now, but when you look at him, you go, that's an abuse of police power.
Yeah.
Like, that's just obvious. And then when you watch a 9-minute video of him knee on his neck, this is why it's so hard being a Candace Owens fan, because she is, like, way too fucking pandering to the white Republican. Like, at some point, you gotta just admit.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate the fuck out of Candace Owens.
I like Candace.
I don't like her
I like
ever
Candace.
since she started saying a lot of shitty shit about Jews. in
About Israel.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah,
I
she
can't-
went on that
I
Kanye
can't.
path.
Yeah, I can't.
She went on the Kanye
know,
path, and
I just can't.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's and it's a bummer. I like Candace, but you know the George Floyd shit would piss me off because I'm like, come on, Candace. Like, there's a fucking video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's a
know, and it's not like a short video
Hey,
either. It's a
It's
fucking
9.5
long
minutes
video.
long. You watching him murder him. Like,
Oh
it's
my
really
God.
mind blowing. Really mind blowing. Like, it really is mind blowing. And I'm like, that man had his hands in his pockets with a knee on his neck.
Yeah.
That shit did not look right. That just didn't look right. That doesn't look like what a police officer should ever do to anyone.
Daniel said, but that's the problem. So many people on the left and the right can't hold more than one fact at once to be true in their head at the same time. That case is a prime example.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just funny how like there was not a lot of center grounded people, like maybe the three of us, but it was like on the right, George Floyd died from fentanyl. On the left, George Floyd
There's a
died
fucking
a martyr.
hero,
Yeah,
and
he's a
like
hero.
he would have,
Like,
he
no,
wouldn't
I mean,
have hurt a
I'm gonna keep it real
fly
with you. I'm gonna
or
keep it
a
real with you.
mouse.
This might be the most fucked up thing I'll say. I think Derek Crews killed that guy. I think he should have been dead before that moment. I think somebody should have killed him when he fucking broke into that house with that pregnant woman. Like, god damn, dude, I don't believe people like that should be alive. But whatever. That's
Yeah,
my extremist
I mean,
viewpoint.
like, yeah, the dude was not a good dude. I mean, they
No.
tried to make him out as like a saint, which is like, I
They
think
have a
that's so
statue
dumb.
of him in Minnesota, bro.
I think that's really dumb
a guy-
because like
There's
you
a-
don't
there's
need
a
to
living
make
woman.
him. You don't need to make
There's a
him out
living-
as a saint in order to get
Bro,
the same point across.
There's a
Like, you
living
can make
woman
the
and
same
her
argument.
daughter. There's a living woman and her daughter that have to drive possibly by a statue of the guy that busted in her door, held a gun to her pregnant belly, and robbed her.
Yeah.
It's a statue of that guy.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, it's insanity. It's like it really is a detachment on both the right and left side.
Well,
I
and
agree.
like I
That's why-
said,
that's why
yeah,
that's why you do call me a conservative or Republican. And I always say like I'm truly an independent. Like I'm
Yeah.
very simple.
I
don't
wanna,
agree with
I
those
want to
kind of
say
Republicans.
though, like the crazy thing about it to me is that like you don't need to make him out to be a saint to still make the argument that he probably shouldn't have died that day.
Yeah, I mean.
And I'm not talking about from like the moral perspective of him. He doesn't deserve to die.
Okay. Derek Crews didn't have to kill him. Like, it
Right,
was obvious
that's
Derek
what I'm
Crews killed
saying.
him. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. And the funniest part to me is, like, to me, as the extremist I am, because, you know, fuck it, dude. I'm not independent. I'm pretty extreme. But, you know, I've always been a pro-death person. Like, to me, it's a massive win-win. One scumbag cop is in prison, and the other scumbag is dead.
I mean,
That's a fucked up thing to say.
fair. That's a very George Carlin take of you. I'll say that.
Yeah, thank you. That's one of the greatest compliments you've ever given me in my life.
I have
Thank
a
you very
few
much for
Carlin
that.
takes of my own, and yeah, that's about the nicest way I could put it.
I mean, you want to know something very funny about George Carlin, right?
I probably already know it. I know just about everything there is to know about that man.
He filmed a special on 2001, September 10th, 2001.
Yeah.
He filmed a special called I Believe a Lot of People Should Die, or something like that. It was something
And then
along
they
those
didn't
words.
put it out or something. Yeah.
They never put it out because 9/11 happened the next day.
Yeah. And then he did.
Like,
He in his
crazy.
next special, he did talk about 9/11 a little
He did
bit.
do one of the bits from that
Yeah.
special, but
Yeah.
he rewrote all his material and kept like one.
Which,
bit.
like, even for Carlin, like, yeah, I get it, right? That was a big tragedy. And I get why he would want to.
Oh, and you gotta take the L on that, bro. It is
Yeah,
what it is.
Like at
you
that
just
point,
got-
you're like,
he lost money, production lost money. Oh well, you gotta take the L on that.
yeah,
Like, you can't
yeah.
never
I
release
mean,
that
like,
special.
I mean, like
I hope they release
complaining
it
about
now. They
losing
should
money.
release
It's
it now
like
if they got it.
cry me a river, bro. Like a fucking 2,000 people fucking died. You know,
3,000.
3,000 was it? 3,000 in the end.
9/11.
Almost. I think it was like
2,937. No, it's 2,900. It's about 20. Yeah, above
just about
2,900.
3,000. Yeah.
Yeah, 3,000. Let's say 3,000. Andre 3000.
Gosh.
Yeah. But you
Wow.
know, like I am on a more extremist death level because I always kind of grew up both pro-choice and pro-death penalty, which was always funny to me because you know that's one side and the other.
Yeah.
But I believe in the death penalty.
I am as well.
Yeah, that's why we get along.
The more I pay attention to true crime, the more I'm like, yeah, some people just kind of deserve to get fucking put down. But it has to be pretty extreme.
It has to be extreme, but I also don't believe in the insanity plea. I just don't believe in it.
Well, that I kind of do believe in. I think if you're not like capable of understanding what you're doing, than trying you as if you do understand. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks for like the victim's family and everything, but like, how are you gonna know?
Jeffrey Dahmer, bro.
Mika is good. Thank you, AC Bond. Mika, do you want to come say hello? Come here, baby. Can you come on camera? Come here, baby. Come on. Hi. Hi. Mika, say hello. Say hello.
Fuck the insanity plea, dude. The Aurora shooter, the elementary school shooter, the Parkland high school shooter, like all of them should be put on the death penalty, and their cases should be resolved within a year. Like they should be put to death within the year. That's how I actually feel. But we got a very
we have appeals
unjust
process. We can't just
justice
do that.
system, a long process. Nah. It's if it's cold hard evidence that they committed such a massacre, such a heinous crime.
Yeah, but
such as that,
like
I believe
we've had
have them put to death.
We have had situations that felt like it was cold hard evidence, and then it turned out to be
No.
innocent.
I
Who
just
is
named
it?
three
Is
examples.
that
I said the Parkland
Izzy?
shooter, Nicholas, whatever his name
is
is.
that Izzy?
Talking about what?
Someone just came in chat and said, "Guess who?"
Ooh, who is it?
AC Bond 007.
Uh, Let's see.
Who bees it?
All right, what about the last big thing that came out on news?
What?
So, because there was three big things today: the reveal of the CEO killer, the Daniel Penny case, and then lastly, bro, Jay-Z has a lawsuit coming out about him raping a 13-year-old girl with Diddy.
What's my
Interesting
favorite
time.
scary movie? I don't know.
Dude, hey, hold up. Oh, dude, that's crazy. Do you understand the timing of what just happened? Hold on, let me say something. Holy, I just mentioned Jay-Z and Diddy, and then your next sentence is, what's your favorite scary movie? You know how fucking insane that is? I just rewatched Scream and Scary Movie and
And
Halloween.
they were both in
Bro, nope. In the first 9 minutes of Scary Movie, one of the jokes they make, I'm talking on like the 9th minute to the dot of Scary Movie, they're high schoolers, right? Going to high school, and she was like, "Oh, what'd you do this weekend?" She was like, "You girl, you know I was at that Diddy party." Swear to God, dude.
Now they
A
said
high
9/11
schooler is talking
was
about.
an inside joke. Who is this? Who is it?
It's Thanos. It's probably Thanos on his burner account. But
Yeah, right?
but dude, do you know how funny like the timing, the universal synchronicity timing that was of me talking about Diddy, and then he said, "What is your favorite scary movie?" That's the exact line of fucking Scream and in Scary Movie. But on the 9th minute, bro, they made jokes. It was kind of like an insider knowledge that Hollywood always knew Diddy was fucking high schooler chicks. You know, like why did Scary Movie make that joke?
Yeah.
Why
It
does
is synchronicity. I don't know who. You need to tell me who this is, because it's gonna drive me nuts if you don't tell me who this is. And
Dude,
if you
stop
haven't
staring at
followed
it,
me,
Jordan.
Fucking follow me. What?
That's cool. Just have them follow you, and then you got a listener. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, wait. Where are you reading this stuff at?
Go to kick.com/JordanWorld. Go to like my actual stream.
Okay, your kick. Okay, I got you. It's in the comments. Who's commenting? Because I will.
Who
How's
I have
Micah?
3
Guess
first
who?
Names.
What's your favorite scary movie, bro? I'm telling you. Clue who? I have 3 first names. No, this is gay. All right. AC Bond 007. What is your favorite conspiracy? Is it that 9/11 was an inside job? Yo, Jordan, what happened? Did you go away?
First names. No, I'm just trying to think about it.
AC
Trying
Bond
to figure it
007.
out.
Who is your favorite? What is your favorite conspiracy theory?
Because you, Daniel, you have 2 first names.
I have 3 first names, buddy.
Oh, is your middle name first name as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Alex Corey! I know who it is! Is it you, Alex? I'm waiting for this.
It is. It's him. It's 100% him. It's Alex Corey. I don't know who that is, but my favorite conspiracy is you guessing who.
It's
All
gotta
right,
be-
all right.
It's gotta be Alex. Because AC, right? Alex Corey.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes, I got it. Make sure you click that follow button, buddy. Don't leave me hanging high and dry here, unless you already have. In which case, I'm sorry, I'm full of shit. But make sure you give me that follow, good buddy. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming to watch me, bud. Oh, I appreciate that. This is another stand-up comedian right here, Daniel.
Oh, interesting. In LA? LA based?
Yes, sir. Lives in Santa
Oh,
Monica.
I know the guy, buddy. Dude, come on, man. I know Alex Corey. We had the fucking, we did the whole table read.
Yes, that's right. You guys met each other at the table read. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. Alex, he was at the table read as well. That was fun. So yeah, you guys already met each other. Nice. Make sure Adri signs up and follows me as well. Okay, please. Make sure you click that follow button. Okay? Because then a little thing shows up on the screen. People show that you follow, and then I get a little tick. And that helps me get closer. Because once I hit 75 followers, I can start asking people for money. That's right.
I'm gonna unfollow you now, Jordan.
Don't
You're
do
too
that.
much of a beggar.
Why are you gonna do that? I'm Jewish.
I know, dude. Jesus Christ. This guy pinches pennies over here. It's fucking crazy.
Well, Alex, you are always welcome to come on the stream, buddy. I would love to have you.
But only if you're willing to discuss whatever you feel about discussing.
Yeah, Alex, what is your position on the death sentence? My favorite scary movie is The Last Jedi. It murdered Luke Skywalker. What
Yeah, I
is?
saw The Last Jedi in theaters, dude. I did a shit ton of edibles. Like
I feel like I'm in the
insane
minority
amount
that
of
I
edibles.
actually really like The Last Jedi. I feel like I'm definitely in the minority. My poor boy. You massacred my boy. Look at what you did to my boy. Ooh, this is a nice planet. I wanted that part in your dad's movie. The movie hasn't even started pre-pro yet. I mean, like, hasn't even started production yet, bro. It has been in pre-pro for a while. We're still trying to get funding, so you could still audition for it. What was that word that you kept mispronouncing now? I don't remember what it was. You're gonna have to pronounce that correctly when you audition. You said they got the actor? Oh, okay. Call him now? I'm not gonna call him now. He's probably like chilling, but I'll talk to him later. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this nice planet I found. Alex, you guys need to get on No Man's Sky so you can play with me. You too, Daniel. You need to get No Man's
What?
Sky.
I downloaded it.
Oh, you did? Did you start playing it?
Nah, because I broke my controller because I was mad at Rocket League.
No.
So I gotta get a new
Murdered
controller.
the fish in that lake with my lasers. Well, they deserve to be murdered for being in my crosshairs. Landing area not clear. Water.
You told me I
landing.
needed to put some time into No Man's Sky before we could,
Yeah,
we
just
could,
a few hours though. It's not like that long.
Okay.
Get on.
And I will
zombies.
when I get in.
Yeah, everybody wants me to play fucking.
Zombies
Call
all
of Duty.
day, bro.
God,
Let's
I have
Call
a
of Duty
bad
together.
experience with zombies. When I was in my freshman year of college, everybody in my dorm suite was playing zombies all the fucking time, and it put me off of it so much. Alright, what am I looking for here? Ooh, look at these guys. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. Go outside your comfort zone and then you will grow. I've played zombies before. It's not like I haven't played it. Actually, I don't really care for it that much. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing that. I feel like the newer version. Here's the thing. I want one post-apocalyptic game, just one that is scientifically accurate and doesn't go down the brain-eating zombie trope. I mean, Stalker is a bit more serious than Fallout, but they still lean too much into that. You know what? I love Fallout, though, so, like, I don't even care that much. Daniel, you still there?
Yeah, what's up? What'd you say?
This no man's land looks pointless. Bro, this... Listen to me. Listen to me, Alex. This game is huge. Like,
doesn't mean
zombies
it's
is like a
good.
quick fix.
Bro, hold the fuck up. Starfield is huge, but it's still trash.
This is way bigger than Starfield. Starfield, the size of Starfield is like a drop in the bucket.
I feel like
compared to
you missed the point just now.
this game is
Starfield-
very, very good. When it launched, it was very empty, but that was in 2016. Over the last 18 years, every year they've done like 3 or 4 major free updates, and it's become like way bigger than the game they even initially intended to make. It's
What's up
like
with Alex,
it's like
man?
a success story of a
still in
game with a
LA?
poor launch.
Alex, you still in LA?
Yeah, he's still in LA. This is a nice little planet. What is what thing? What's your mission? I need action. I'm looking for a fuel source right now.
No, I'm sorry, Daniel Liddig. Starfield was trash because it had a horrible plot. I mean, it was already bland within all the NPCs, but at the end of the day, Cyberpunk had a shit ton of glitches. It had a shit ton of, like, not reactive NPCs, but that wasn't the major issue with Cyberpunk. I mean, that was the major issue with Cyberpunk, but once they fixed that and patched it all, it's one of the greatest games ever. Starfield can never redeem itself because it's just all around a bland fucking plot. Like, it's just a very boring storyline. So because they didn't put any execution into creating a great narrative for a video game like that, like, it'll never be redeemable.
And yet I managed to
Cyberpunk
put
had an
like
option.
200 fucking
redeem
hours
itself.
into Starfield.
Yeah, that's because you're boring, Jordan.
I am not
What about
boring. You're
What about
boring.
Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk was lit, dude.
Cyberpunk, I
love
also
that
have
game.
like 200 hours in. What am I supposed to be like
Dude.
digging or something? What the fuck?
So, like, a video game has to just look at Cyberpunk as the new standard. At the end of the day, that game is
You know, a
so
lot of
interactive.
people would admonish you for saying that, right?
No, fuck them. I would argue with them all day. I would say that Cyberpunk is one of the best narrative video games I've played in the last... I mean, the next best one is Witcher 3. What year did Witcher 3 come out? Because I like
long time
Skyrim,
ago.
but I still think the Oblivion storyline was better than the Skyrim storyline. But the Skyrim like open world gameplay with all the dragons is more fun. Like, I do love that factor. But like, dude, just putting together a great narrative storyline and like all the inner details, like shit, dude, even Morrowind for some reason felt like it had more details like within the game than Skyrim did, which was a very odd thing to me. Because I played Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. Witcher 3, Cyberpunk, the Assassin's Creed games. You know, I played a lot of these open world games, and there was just nothing like Cyberpunk to me. Like, that game just made me feel like in the middle of those dialogue scenes, like when you have that guy threatening to kill you and you have like 3 options: pay him your money, give him the chip, or blow his head off. You just feel like the whole game and might change in that moment, and you only have split seconds to choose.
Alex wants to know our position on breast implants.
If you do it, you're gay. And that goes for women too. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I think it's really hard to make them look and feel real, so I'm not the biggest fan.
Well, I've had
personally.
sex. I've had sex with girls who've had. I've had sex with girls who've had, natural big titties. That's always going to be superior. It's literally
Yes.
always just going to be superior.
100%,
I've had sex with
I
girls who
agree.
have breast implants that were nice, like they're bigger, but
Yeah.
they were a girl who already kind of had semi big boobs, like a C cup goes to a double D,
Yeah,
and
but
then they
see-
feel natural. Wait, let me finish. And then I had sex with a girl who had like A cups, and she got bigger titties like C's, and they are rock hard. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't
It was
mind
fucking
smaller
weird.
boobs, honestly.
rock-
like, it
Dude,
doesn't
I'd rather have
bother me.
smaller comfy boobs than the fucking
Yeah.
rock hard ones. Rock hard ones are weird,
The
bro.
idea that
whole
like
thing.
small boobs aren't awesome is fucking dumb. I am an equal opportunity boob employee.
Yeah, I know. I'm small boob all the way. I prefer that over. But I will say, like I said, the one girl who had like C cups and she moved
He
into
says
double
he
Ds.
was joking.
Hers,
Then you should
yours
have
still
asked,
felt natural.
Alex.
yeah, I mean, dude, we answer every question here.
Yeah.
Ask us another joke and we'll answer it with full seriousness.
Yes, exactly. This is a very
That's what we
real-
are doing here. I mean, I make jokes too.
Ooh,
But-
look at this fucking
But no
guy.
matter what you ask, bro, we gonna answer it.
Yeah, we will. Look at this guy. Ooh. What do we got here? Trans? Well,
About trans.
whether we like what our view is upon trans? I mean, we're all.
I think trans ideology is pretty toxic. I think it's kind of a poison
No,
on
you
society
think
these days.
extreme trans ideology is pretty toxic.
I
Most
think
trans
pushing it on
people don't-
schools is wrong. I
most people
believe
don't think that way.
I believe no. I mean I believe that trans individuals are just people with mental illnesses, and gender dysphoria shouldn't be revered as a heroic achievement, but it should be seen as exactly what I just described it as a mental disorder that
and
needs
I
treatment.
think they can be pretty hot.
Yeah, well, everybody's got their fetishes, dude. That doesn't
It's
mean
not
you
a
can't
fetish.
use it.
I'm pansexual. I just don't.
Doesn't no, it doesn't mean you should. It is a fetish. It is
It's not a
and
fetish.
it
It's a
doesn't mean-
sexual orientation.
fetish, dude. Sexual orientations and fetishes go hand in hand. And also, I don't believe you should.
Was
ever
being
teach
gay a
children that-
fetish?
I don't believe. Trans ideology is not the same as gayness. It's just not. And the fact that the two are so heavily correlated is a major problem amongst the gay community in general.
No, we're not
Because-
talking about that. We're talking about sexual orientation.
Yeah. Wait, what? Sorry, I'm playing Rocket League.
We're talking about sexual orientation. It's not a fetish if it's
It
a
is.
sexual orientation.
There's a fetish, dude. Putting tits on a man and being attracted to that's a fetish. Same as people that like to get peed on.
No, why is my inventory?
I don't know, but I like how we moved on from that.
Sorry, I got distracted. Let me use this. Okay. Now give me the inventory. I have seen it. Now give me this stuff. What did I get? Ooh, a warp cell. Nice. Alright, now I gotta call my fucking stash ship. Yo, Mr. White. Yeah, science, bitch. Breaking Bad is one of the best shows ever.
Breaking Bad is literally my favorite show ever. Yeah,
It
Agree with
is
that.
one of the greatest pieces of television ever made.
it's personally my favorite TV series due to the fact that it's one of the few TV series that had a ending that all fans were happy with.
Yeah.
Like maybe not all fans, but the majority of the fan base was like, that was just a great ending.
100%.
It's one of the only. It's the only TV series in history where the endings episode was because the individual rated episodes and then the overall TV series rating are two different things. It's one of the only series in history where the ending episode, the finale, was rated higher than the series itself.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so to me, it's just a masterpiece for that alone.
Yeah, a lot of series have difficulties sticking that ending.
Game of Thrones and Dexter for sure.
Yeah.
So they rebooted Dexter, but yeah, I mean those are a couple that people just loved. Sopranos, as much as I like the artistic
Yeah.
ending, it still fell flat.
Sad.
But yeah,
Such
it's
an amazing
Breaking Bad's one of the ones that just nailed it.
They did a very, very, very good job. Jesse Pinkman was only supposed to be on 1 or 2 episodes. Wow. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
but you didn't know his acting.
No.
The way the first season was written, he was supposed to die actually. But they
Whoa.
thought his chemistry with Bryan Cranston was so good that they went ahead and kept him on and rewrote the series.
Mysterious.
I'm a
Mr.
huge
Baker
huge fan of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. Absolutely incredible show. I am gonna go to the space station here. Find where that is. Jordan, have you ever noticed that ship's third engine can't function properly from a physics standpoint? What are you talking about? The ship that I'm flying in? Wait, why? What? Don't fucking.
Good, dude. No. Let him know, dude, that he's playing a fucking scientifically inaccurate video game. That's also boring.
I want to hear what he's saying. Oh, fuck me, bro. Guys, you can fuck off.
That's cool though. I literally just tuned in. I'm
Hang on, I
doing
got a
Rocket League.
dog fight going.
I know, I see that. That's cool. The most enjoyable game for the viewers where you can both discuss politics and play a video game, we should play A Way Out. A Way Out, bro. We should be playing A Way Out.
Everybody knows.
Figure
it's
out how to set that up.
Factorio.
I don't know what that is.
Oh no! You gotta know about Factorio, bro. Whoa! Okay. Hang on. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm in trouble. Okay. Okay, here we go. Would you stop shooting me, motherfucker? Here we go. Boom. Got one. Shit. Ah. Almost got him. Almost got him. Fuck. Here we go. These fucking pirates, yeah. Come on! This is frustrating because their fucking shields get broken, but then by the time I turn to hit them after the shields get broken, their shields have fucking recharged. There we go. Alright, got a little damage. Get this motherfucker. Boom! Got your ass. Finally. Holy shit. Play some fucking Zelda. I need to get a capture card before I can play Zelda on here. A lot of people play No Man's Sky on stream, Alex.
We were talking about politics. That was more fun.
We were as well.
And conspiracies, more importantly. Hey, Alex, do you believe that Helen Keller's a real person? That's the real question.
Oh, don't be a poor sport. Watch the game. We'll figure it out. We'll enjoy it. I am actually probably gonna close up for the evening though now. It's almost 11. I'm gonna eat some dinner. Gotta take Mika out. She's been waiting patiently. But we're gonna jump back on Wednesday, right?
Wednesday, yeah.
Gonna go over the healthcare stuff.
Oh yeah, let's go over.
Netflix.
More importantly, let's go over ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, SSD, standard hard drive, SSD, game loads much faster starting from Starfields.
And let's go over the COVID reports from the White House. That would be great.
I have it on an SSD. It's just my computer is fucking almost like 10 years old, so it's just slow. All right, dudes.
Jared?
What'd you say?
I said let's go over the White House COVID report, and then discuss
that's fine.
hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin treatments.
Alex also said if Helen Keller fell in the forest and no one was around to see her, did she make a noise?
Bro, that's an illegitimate question since she doesn't even exist. That's like
She
saying
doesn't
if a
exist,
unicorn
bro.
if a unicorn farted, does it smell like flowers? That's basically what that question is.
All right, guys. Good night, everyone. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate the support. You're all amazing. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching me. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful night. I will be back on Wednesday at the same time. I hope you guys come around. Don't forget
All right, later, buddy.
to
Love you.
follow.
Peace.
See you, buddy. Peace.